Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live. We're here for late vibes, man. With the panel, the usual panel. Big up to everyone who's locked in. Please hit the like button. Everyone who's here early, 250 of yous, 275 right now. Please hit the like button, thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, man, we're here. Man like Estrella's in the building. How you doing, man? Everything all good?
I'm good. I hope everyone's all right.
Yeah, man. All blessed, all blessed. Elite Pundit, how are you, brother?
Doing good, and I can't complain. Hopefully we can have a good discussion.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ange, how you doing, man? Australia. What are you saying?
Good morning, brother. Good to be back on. Doing good, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Yaba. How are you doing, Yaba?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Give thanks to the Most High. I am still here. I'm grateful for every day out here, and thank you for having me on once again. Make sure you press the like button for our big man Saeed TV.
Oh,
let's go.
Come on, man. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. We might have Kaz later on join us as well, but big up to everyone who's here. A lot of people in the chat saying tell her gone tomorrow. Listen, listen, everyone chill, man. Everyone chill. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. You're hearing these little rumors going around, but how you guys feeling? Another day has gone past. No news about the manager. I mean, I'll start with you, Brian, but you know, it's getting a bit toxic right now. I can't lie. I've never seen the toxicity new owners coming in, making a decision that's gonna benefit Man United in the long run, man. This is a very, very interesting decision that they have to make. So, and they're not here to please everyone, man. But yeah, man, how you gauging the feeling right now? What are you saying?
Well, first of all, it's normal. This is Manchester United fans who have not had success in 10 years. Club has been run horribly, so everybody's on edge. They want to go into the season feeling like, okay, we're not just stuck under the Glazers. Fair enough, I can understand that, but it's the over the top stuff that I don't quite understand. They're not like the Glazers. It makes no sense because the Glazers never had football people in place. We had bankers in place. They might have been nice people, but they had no idea what to do when it comes to running a football club. So I'm actually quite relaxed because I don't see the need for a panic because I'm not seeing them make panic kind of movements, right? They're not panicking. Clearly, what they're doing is part of a plan. We don't know what that plan is. They haven't communicated that to us, which is fine. But I'm hoping once they actually do make a decision and say, hey, Ten Hag, you got to go, this is what we can then judge why did they have to have that gap. Because I think they're going to explain why they decided to review Ten Hag over the last 2 seasons. So I'm pretty patient. I'm pretty chill. They haven't shown me any reason why I should be losing my mind right now. If they do, then people will have that discussion. But as far as I can see, they just hired another person today for the communications team, which again shows me that they are still carrying out their plan. They are not panicking. They are poaching really top people. So maybe they are looking for a top manager from a club that someone's not available. Maybe that's why it's taking a little bit longer than usual because Tuchel is available, Poch is available. They haven't gone for these guys. So maybe they're trying to get someone in that maybe it's a little bit more difficult to bring them in because they are at the current club. Because all the people we've brought in are from like ex-City, ex-Chelsea, all these top executives and whatnot. So maybe that might be the reason why we haven't heard anything yet.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen just now, but they're even getting rid of the people in the canteen, man. Man United set to boot staff out the main canteen at the club's training ground as part of ongoing overhaul under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his INEOS group. Those who not directly work with the first team will no longer be able to dine with them. So, you know what I mean? Even too many, what's the old saying? Too many chefs in the kitchen, man. You know what I mean? They're saying, hey, yeah. They said, yo, you might need to get out, man. If you're not contributing, you might need to get out, man. You know what I was there.
We're going to see the same thing with the medical staff. We're going to see the same thing with training staff. Even what's his name? One of our coaches already gone. Benny McCarthy is not getting a new contract. So they are changing literally everything. And fans just have to be a little bit patient because we've had no football people in place for over 10 years. So I can imagine that they're going through everything and like, this guy has to go, this guy has to go, this guy has to go, this guy has to go. And it's frustrating, but I'm seeing their work at the minimum, right? And we're seeing the executives come in. So we just need to wait. I know the big thing is transfers. And I know we're going to talk about Olise going forward. But like I will say, before we get to that discussion with transfers, I don't mind missing out on a player. But what I mind is then, who is your alternative? Let it not go and be a different profile completely. That is what happened with Manchester United for a long time under the Glazers. So if we miss out on Olise, I'm not going to lose my mind because I'm like, okay, what's your alternative? What's your different plan? Because remember last season, Chelsea didn't get Olise. They went and got Palmer. So there's good players out there. You just need to use the scouting team that we probably pay lots of money for and uncover a player. Let's not get obsessed with players nowadays because outside of maybe 5 players in world football that can play for any team, most players now are system players. So I'm not really looking at the players that we're looking to and going, oh my God, we have to have him. No, there's many good players out there. We just use what we have and make sure we bring them in. That's when I will judge INEOS and see their capability because missing out on a player is not as bad as signing the wrong profile.
You know what? That's a good point. You know, I do think it'll be a big blow though, losing on a player like Lisa. It will be because at the end of the day, he's prem proven, his quality. Listen, the winger market, as much as people say is good, it's not that great. You know what I mean? We're seeing guys like the guy from Bilbao, very young, very raw. You've got Pedro Neto, who's decent as well. I wouldn't mind him at United, but again, would United go for him? So I don't know. I just think for me, it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is a big blow. I'll be real with you. I have to keep 100, especially if it's Chelsea. There are direct rivals for top 4. You know, so it's something that you have to go and get. You know, United at the minute. If you lost to Chelsea, if you lost to Man City or Arsenal, you could say, you know what, fair enough. But these are our direct rivals for the so-called top 4. If we're getting it, if we're looking to be in and around there, which I think at the minute United fans probably are. We're not going to be hitting the title race. We're not going to be anywhere there. We're going to top 5. So I can't lie to you. You know, Kudus available. Listen, Kudus, he had his chance. He could have got Kudus before we got Anthony. So that boat has sailed for me, man. Hey, unless it's a different manager, though, should I say? You know what I mean? So, yeah, scope tweet. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Who are out? So if we think about our wide players for next year, it's Rashford, Garnacho, Ahmad, and Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
I'm not. That's not good, is it? That's not exciting.
It depends if you got like a manager like De Zerbi, though. If you got a manager like De Zerbi, he can cook with players that he's cooking with Danny Welbeck, he's cooking with, Mitoma, he's cooking with even what's his name, man, the right winger, Solly Marsh. So it depends on the manager you've got, you know what I mean, and how they coach. If they coach, you can get good out of these players. You can coach them to be better than what they're showing right now. It's all about coaching, man. But I get what you mean. It's not the basic good quality maybe in that aspect. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure Rashford's going to be here this season. I'm not. I said to you this last time. I'm not. Even the message the tweet that he left, the last tweet that he sent out before he went on holidays.
Yeah.
He goes. Remember, United fans, we stick together. He was giving us a lecture on. I'm like, bro, you haven't performed all season, and all the criticism you get, he takes no accountability. There's no accountability. He collected his big 330, which has now meant that Bruno wants a big contract. Yeah, Bruno wants to go. I'm like, and I understand where Bruno's coming from. Bruno's thinking, I perform every week in, week out. Like I give my best. He might not play the best, but he gives his best. He's out there with injuries, with ailments, whatever. He's like, how is Rashford earning more than Rashford? Doesn't talk around. I'm the club captain. I should be the highest earner at the club. I get it, and which means I understand where he's coming from. So, but if we go in with the same Rashford we had this year, and a Garnacho who's still young and physically you can tell he shouldn't have played as many games as he did. He's still a young player.
He played a lot of games, 50 games, over 50 games, I think he played. Something like that.
Do you think he deserved all 50? All 50? I don't think he deserved all 50.
But who deserved it ahead of him? Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
No,
did anyone?
Do you think No, of course. Because we didn't have options. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I like what they say, and there's not many gun left-footed wingers. Like most of them are right-footed. Like he's unique in that sense. So it'd be sad if we missed out on him. But I wouldn't trust our wide players going to next season.
The comment here, I think from Academy Scoop, Chelsea will meet with Elise's representative in the coming days to view a proactively concluded a deal. Chelsea are taking aggressive measures to ensure they beat Man United to signing of Elise. And it says here, despite holding Elise in high regard, a right winger isn't high on Man United's priority list. INEOS are focused on defensive and midfield signings. Talks are underway, representative of several potential targets. So is anyone going to say something then?
Where does he play, Saeed?
Right wing.
Right wing.
I think he can also play.
But they got Cole Palmer. They got Palmer.
No, I was going to say they got Madueke as well. So that's how
they're going to play Cole Palmer in the 10. Cole Palmer's going to play in the 10. Olise on the right. Left wing, they'll probably play Mudryk or, I don't know, Nkunku on the left, and then play whoever up front. So they'll all interchange. They have interchange.
Don't you think Madueke is a little bit similar to Elise though? Like towards the end of the season, he actually started to pick up steam. You could see what type of player he actually is.
Elise is just head and shoulders above.
Elise is more creative, but Madueke is more direct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not in terms of who's better as an overall player. I'm just saying in terms of like ability wise, in terms of the output what they can actually give on the pitch. I would say Madueke is kind of similar to Elise's playing style, but he hasn't had the same opportunity to flourish in a good team.
Madueke is more explosive, but I think for me,
he's like Rashford, yeah.
He's got football brain. He's got football brain, but he's not that Rashford.
If I was a fullback, I'd probably hate playing against Madueke because
I would
he's so direct.
I think you could similar to Doku. I don't know if it's a stretch, but you could say he's a similar player in terms of attacking his fullback.
The one thing that Elise will do though, he'll come inside, he'll go in the 10 role, he'll attract you, he'll basically tell you you've got a chance, and then he'll do whatever he needs to do. You know what I mean? So I feel like with Madueke, it's a bit more predictable. You can guess where he's gonna go. He might beat you though, and do what he's got to do, but at the same time, he's gonna beat you for pace rather than probably 1-2 trickery. With
he's got feet, Madueke's got feet.
Whoa. I totally disagree with that. I think what's his name, Madawiki? I call him Bandana Boy.
Yeah.
He's talented, and he's one of these guys that you don't expect to come through at a big club like Chelsea because he's so raw. They kind of train that out of you, or they dismiss you because you've got that talent. You look at someone like Eze, who's naturally gifted, naturally talented. He was rejected because he doesn't tick the boxes for what they look for these days. You know.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, Brian, about a system player. This is what we have these days. I don't know if you know Jamie Lawrence. He used to play for Bradford. He's a great guy. A friend of mine who does a lot of stuff on Instagram, and he talks so much about these players being having all the talent trained out of them, you know. And I like Madueke because I'm surprised he's come through. He's raw. I think he's a threat, like Brian said. I think if you're fullback and you're up against that guy, you're going to end up on your backside. That's how bad it is because he's creative. He's got his own thing. He's an instinct player. Chop, chop, chop. They take you out for Chinese and leave you dust up on the floor like that. Whereas the other guys, they're good, but they play system football, triangles, and movement like that. So I think it's refreshing to see someone like him come in. I think he's a talented player. Not like who's the guy, Saint Maximum thing. He's another one. Yeah, he's very rare. We want. I would say I want to bring these players with like that natural instinct back into football. They're the sort of players that get me off my feet. And I don't want to see them buy Elise, not because I want him at Man United, but I just don't want to see him stump someone's development like that. Because I think next season, Madueke, what his name is, he's got an opportunity to really shine if they give him the right green light to do his business. You know, I like him a lot.
But I think he'll probably be.
Yeah. I think for me right now, though, like when I look at the right winger market right now, is there anyone that strikes you, Brian, that could come in? You know, you said about right profiles. Who's going to be out there for you? I think Pedro Neto's a good player, but again, injury prone. But then again, you're going to get him for cheap price, 40 million.
Kubo from, I believe he plays for Real Sociedad.
Kubo, yeah.
Yeah, he was flying earlier on in the season.
And then he dipped. You know what I'm saying?
There's players like that you can go for that are maybe now they're under the radar. Maybe their fees a little bit lesser. We can do something tactically different where maybe you go get a player that maybe plays, with the right foot instead of like an inverted winger. So there's options. It depends on what we want to do. Do we want someone direct? Do we want someone that's going to hold possession? I feel like maybe with Ahmad we kind of have a bit of both. He can go direct. He can hold possession. Are we as a club looking at it like, listen, we signed this Ahmad for 34 million total compensation, high potential. Are we going to again buy a 60 million pound player to then come and start ahead of him? We don't know if maybe that's the right way to go, or do we go get someone that maybe is a little bit more experienced, more older, that can come in, do a job, and we say, okay, Ahmad, we're going to give you this season. Let's see what you can do, instead of blowing another 60 million. When if we're being honest, look at our defense. We only have one good center back. Look at our midfield. We don't even have a defensive midfielder. Casemiro is he's gone. He's checked out.
Apparently they want to keep Amrabat, man. Fans want to keep Amrabat in the club. That's a defensive midfielder.
I don't think we're going to keep Amrabat simply because it's part of the former recruitment Ten Hag
regime. Yeah,
if Ten Hag goes, Amrabat
SCG agency. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So personally, I'll look at it and I'll say, we need to build from the back. Most teams nowadays build from the back. And we haven't done that with Manchester United. We don't have
your mic's gone quiet.
Oh. Hold on.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, get these likes up as well, people, if you can, man. There's 700 people in here. Not even 200 likes yet. Get these likes up, people, if you can. Listen, the names that we're putting out there, Semenyo.
I was gonna say to you, Saeed, are you really that pressed if Elisa gets taken? Because this is what I was saying last.
Yes, I am.
The last, remember what I was saying, because I was saying it's not. I don't think right wing is the most important position to resolve right now, and spunking that money.
No, I agree with you.
It gives me shades of last summer when we went all on Mason Mount. Like the way I'm looking at it, if you look at the way INEOS are probably looking at it, they're looking at it like Pellistri still coming back. Sancho, they don't know what they're going to do there. Then they've got Ahmad, Anthony, Garnacho can play on that side as well. So that's almost 5 wingers. So does it make feasible sense to then go out and spunk 60 million plus to go get another winger to add to the additional ones you already have, and you don't know the futures of the rest of them? doesn't make sense when you've got more important areas like centre back and holding midfielder that you're going to need.
That's a shout, man.
Which was majority of the problem this season is why we were suffering the lack of centre backs and lack of midfield presence. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a shout, That's actually a shout as well. You know what I mean? But the problem is though, man, like they're all, I don't know, like Ahmad's creative, Garnacho running behind, Rashford running behind. Anthony, let's be honest, man, he's not good at anything. Let's be honest, probably keeping possession he's good at. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, you have a lot of something, but not really anything. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you've got a lot there, but you haven't got a lot there. Same with midfield. Like, let's be honest, in midfield, we have to actually got like 6 or 7 midfielders. We've got McTominay, we've got Bruno, we've got Mason Mount, we've got Kobe Mino, we've got Donny van der Beek, yeah, a 6. Oh, God. So you've got a lot there, Hannibal Majebri. But can you say they're quality? Most of them. You can't. Maybe 1 or 2. Centre-backs, you've got a lot of them, But again, are they quality? The full-backs, probably... I mean, it depends on what you think if they're good enough or not. I don't personally rate Luke Shaw, but again, a lot of people like Luke Shaw. Dalot, he's had a good season, but he may not have a good season next season. We don't know. He's a bit up and down. You know what I mean? You don't know how he's going to go. So, in aspect when you look at my United squad, it's a load of quantity, but not quality, and that's the problem. That's where the stuff we need to grab that area and be like, INEOS must improve quality. We must improve quality, not quantity. That's what Man United need to focus on. But again, a coach comes in and then he creates that gap where maybe other managers couldn't do. But we're going back into the cycle, aren't we? Of again, players proving to another manager that they're good enough, and then we find out they're not good enough, and then we can't sell them. So that's where I look at it for me personally.
Yeah, but aren't you excited about what's to come? Because we've been building up. We've been talking about what's happening with the moves that we're making, another signing behind the scenes just today. So I'm sitting back. I mean, we can sit here and speculate about what will be. But if let's pause this show. Let's go in a month's time or 2 months' time before the end of the season. We might have some signings that could blow our mind. We just don't know where we're going to go with this. Personally, I don't think we're that far off getting to our goals, which would be probably a top 4 at the moment, towards if we're taking baby steps towards winning titles eventually. I don't think we're that far off with the squad you mentioned. And you said quality. We've got a lot of lacking quality, more quantity. But the injuries last season showed that we were lacking in that respect as well. So you've got to have a balance of experienced players maybe and young players coming through and established players who are in the mid-20s, that sort of thing. And we saw last week when you put up that list about under 25s being the profile that we're looking for going forward, It's very interesting what you started, because we started the show talking about a right winger, Elise. Now, I've always felt, the more I've looked at him, I thought, okay, yeah, fair enough. He looks like he can do the business. I've got a few friends down in South London who support Palace, who really do rave about him as well. But I'm thinking that's like you guys are saying, I don't think that's the priority. Estrella was saying that as well. I don't think that's the priority for us. We've got to look at other areas to strengthen first. So is it about taking what's available, the best deal, or are you looking at, no, we're going to focus on position first, what we need, what we require before we move on? Or are they just saying, well, Elise's available, let's not get into this bidding war with Chelsea, let's not lose out to them? I don't know which way to go, but I want to sit here patiently. I don't mind speculating. And to be honest, I don't know all these names people are putting up. If you ask me who's the best right winger that we should go for, I really don't know anyone out there in Europe who's really smashing it. That's what I'm saying. The profile of footballers for me has kind of come down.
Yeah.
Way,
that is true.
People look at, they look at numbers and they look at data now to assess someone. And when you're doing the eye test, I'm not qualified, I don't feel, to sort of watch a player and say, oh yeah, he's bad, because there's a lot of talent out there, but I just want to see, let's see, it'd be great over the next few weeks doing this show to see how we progress and what direction we go in. Because at the moment, we just don't know.
No, 100%. Well, the thing is, we don't know with the manager, so that's where we need to kind of figure out first.
Don't you think that's crazy as well, by the way? We still don't know.
Well, tomorrow, I'm gonna say, what if you were to predict a day,
just get rid of him.
News to drop, the news to drop, what would you predict it?
I would have said
No, they usually
Monday.
do things like this on Friday. They'll do.
That's what I said. Friday. I'm putting myself out there, yeah.
Right.
And people are like, I bet you now I'm gonna be at Friday prayer, and they're gonna be like, yo, I get the phone, yeah, and I see, yo, Ten Hag sacked. Trust me, I'm telling you now, man. I've had some mad breaking news on a Friday. You know what I mean? So
regardless if they sack him or
That's
not,
usually when they.
So go on, Ange, go on.
That's usually when they drop really bad news Friday afternoon, so it doesn't get
Friday
covered
afternoon,
by-
yeah.
Yeah, Friday. That's when they usually drop the bad news. So maybe that's when they do it. Can I just talk about Bruno for a sec, Saeed? Is that all right?
Yep.
So I thought
yeah, go on. Go on.
No, finish what you got to finish, and then we can talk about Bruno.
Yeah. I was gonna move on to Bruno. I just wanted to ask, like, in terms of, you said there, Strella, you think it's a bit of a farce. You know, a lot of fans feel like that. You know, I've seen online today. You know, they're comparing it to the Glazers. What's really changed? You know, fans are not happy. Fans are not happy.
It's not necessarily comparing to the Glazers, but it's more of a thing like they came in saying that they were going to carry. They came in. It's been over 2 years now. The whole process. Yeah. They came and said that they're going to do a strategic review, and this review has been going on for over 6 months. Then after we win the FA Cup final, they then said that they're still continuing this strategic review. My believing is that if Ten Hag had lost that final, he would have lost his job straight away. Yeah. And I already told you before that I don't believe someone's job should be based on one game. I think that's stupid, especially with all the things against him. So it's like you haven't made the decision before, or you made it off straight off away. But I think you made it before. So you're just dragging this out, and the longer it drags out, it's going to go into our summer window. And if you start to do the maths in your head of how many people need to come and go, then obviously you're going to say we're running out of time soon. Like, obviously it's just beginning, but if it continues going on like this, we're going to be running out of time soon.
That's a fair point, but
if you look at it, like if you're being fair, they've had a number of chances to sack Ten Hag. After that Crystal Palace game, the 4-0, they could have sacked him then, right? Because it's not something new we've seen in England, where Tottenham sacked Jose Mourinho before the cup final, and they've not won a trophy before. So they could have sacked Ten Hag. I don't think the result would have mattered, because with INEOS, they have their plan. They have what they want to do. And I'm sure there is a date when they're like, okay, we're going to communicate to the fans. This is what we're going to do in regards to the manager. I haven't seen them do something erratic yet, right?
No.
They have who they wanted for the CEO. They went for him. They got him. Everybody they've wanted, outside of Ashworth, because Newcastle are being stubborn, they've gone for exactly who they wanted. So they've had someone in mind for the manager. I don't even think it's anybody that really, that's part of the links that we've constantly been linked to, Tuchel, Poch. We might have had conversations with them. And mind you, conversations go two ways. Tuchel's camp could have contacted Manchester United and be like, hey, Tuchel is interested in the Manchester United job. Would you guys want to sit down and chat? And before you know it, that information is leaked out. So we don't know if Manchester United are going out and approaching these managers, or they're approaching us and saying, hey, we're available. Would you want to speak to our client? That happens. So for me, let's just relax, give it a little bit of time, and I think soon enough we'll know who the next manager is, because believe it or not, that's a huge decision. Out of everybody they've appointed so far, that one is the biggest decision, because if they get that wrong, you think people are mad at INEOS now? If they get it wrong, I think people will be a lot more frustrated going forward.
100%, because they'll be the guys that the Glazers, obviously the Glazers are behind them majority, but they'll be the one that people punch back in it. You know what I'm saying to you? My thing is, there was a theory that they still haven't chosen their manager, and I believe they're just working out the succession plan. I feel like, for me, what they're trying to do in terms of who they bring in, they want it to be like, right, we've sacked him, but then we've got this guy straight away. You know what I mean? Where they don't give time to be like, fans to mourn the sacking of Erik ten Hag. They're going to be like, you know what? Right, he's gone. And then a couple of hours later, they announce the signing of, whoever, Tuchel or De Zerbi. Because I think it's them two candidates. I really do. I don't think there's anybody else. It's Tuchel or it's De Zerbi. I don't think there's any other one. People named Stuttgart manager as an outstanding candidate, maybe, and Ruben Amorim could be one that they could look at. But I don't see that for me. You would have heard from somewhere, surely, that Ruben Amorim was.
I would go crazy if they get Ruben Amorim. Like,
Yo,
man,
man, like
the
Brian,
kind of,
yeah,
the kind of chat I'll be chatting if we get Amorim would be insane because
bro.
he's my number one pick by far. Like, I
Yeah.
would, if we get Amorim, I would be confident we could probably win the league in like the next 3 years with the right
Jeez.
recruitment. Like, that's how much I rate Amorim.
That's crazy.
Anybody else, it's kind of like wait and see. But
Yeah.
Amorim for me, he's the perfect guy because he very good communicator, tactically flexible.
Yeah.
Look at the things he's done with the players that he got. He got a striker from the championship, and he's made him to be this world beater striker that everybody is like looking at. Like he is taking raw gems and making them like 50, 60 million pound players. Like he is a good coach, and it's crazy for me that Liverpool allowed 10 million pounds to keep them away from getting this guy. I actually think that's kind of mad. So that was Liverpool's first.
I don't think it was money related. They would have got him if they really wanted him. They would have paid the money. Like I don't think it was money related. They just didn't want him. They thought Arne Slot was a better option.
Which is crazy to me because he's
But-
not.
Right.
He's really
I
not.
haven't seen any of his games. It's hard for me to say he's definitely better than I haven't
He
seen.
plays
any of
attacking
their games.
football. He plays attacking football, but if you, for my money, you wanted a manager that could do both sides of the game in the Premier League, I would go Amorim because we've seen it.
Yeah, I think
like
it's this.
both
It's
sides
got
of
to do with
both-
style. It's got to do with style. What do they see in their head is the right style of play that we want to go with, especially with the group of players that they've got right now, plus the players that they end up sacking and selling. Who do they go for in this situation? Like they've got to be very careful. Like for me, if they kept Ten Hag, then they would have just said, you know what, cool, we'll get you the players ASAP before the Euros. They wouldn't want to mess around, because I think Ten Hag talked about being very, very proactive in the market and being quick to buy the signing. So, they would have easily communicated that with him, So, boy, I don't know.
Brian, really
Yeah.
quickly and calmly, yeah. I'm just gonna touch back on what you said about fans not being reactionary, but we need to calm down. I think it's a bit disingenuous to say we should all calm down and just trust INEOS. Like I said from the last show, I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt. But for the ones that still think this way, I can understand why, because they did a strategic review, and under that review, I remember considerably, especially in the media, we will have very poor results, and his job was on the line basically that every single game, as we saw before previous managers before they were sacked. So it was like, even if they knew they weren't going to sack him and they were going to give him till the end of the season, from when they knew we made the FA Cup final to the end of the season, I believe that there should have been feasible names for them to select of who they want their managers to be and what playing style they want to do going forward. I don't think to make these massive changes will take time. I get that. But to make these small decisions, I don't think it takes that much time, especially when you're acquiring a club of Manchester United stature. And just to add in before I finish, what everyone's going to say, get behind INEOS. The other reason why people are going to say, let's not get behind them, is because I've never seen this been done in football before, where a club is up for sale and somebody acquires a small majority of the club and then is running the club underneath a structure who's just been siphoning it, and it's been poorly managed for over 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I will address the first point. I'll address the first point in regards to whether fans should be patient. I understand being skeptical, right? That's fine. But like I said, where's the evidence that they've done things that poorly? There's a lot of media speculation, and I don't even think that's coming from INEOS. The media are going to print whatever they're going to print, and fans are going to run with it or not. But in regards to Ten Hag, I'm just going to go over what has actually been said, like from people from INEOS. So Sir Jim, he's been asked a number of times, what do you think about Ten Hag? And he said, listen, we've had a lot of good managers at Manchester United, but a lot of them have still failed regardless. So to me, that shows a man that's thinking, listen, let's get to the end of the season in totality, right? We have a cup final. Let's get to this. It'll be stupid, kind of, if you said, regardless of what happens in the cup final, we're going to sack him. But let's review everything, or we're going to keep him. Either way, you don't make any decision. Let's get to the end of the season. will look at everything he's done from not just this season but last season as well, and say, okay, we've balanced it out. We've looked at it. We have targets. INEOS just hired a new coach for Nice, who was voted League One Manager of the Year. So hiring a manager is not something difficult to them. The last manager they had got poached by Ajax. They've hired good managers for Nice in the past. So I'm not worried about doing that for Manchester United. We got Ten Hag, who was a highly rated coach before he came to Manchester United. And he had a decent season, and this season was terrible. On the balance, you look at both seasons and you make an informed decision. Because if they go now and say, we're just going to sack him, right? There's no guarantee. We say we get another manager. We say it's De Zerbi, and he goes through a rough spell. Are they then going to just make a decision based off fan sentiment, emotion, and not look at the information and the data? They have to stick with this same methodology now. So in a situation where, down the line, we have a new manager. Fans love him or fans hate him. He's in a tough spell. INEOS already, we've been here. Okay, we've been here with Ten Hag. We're going to look at the full picture. We'll review it and decide if you should stay or if you should go. And we're not going to make an emotional decision. Because if they sack Ten Hag on emotion now, when the time comes, we're going to demand that sacking again because fans are not used to the way INEOS operate. So let's be used to the way INEOS operate now, so later that we're not asking all these questions.
100%. Keep liking the video, people. There's 840 of you in the building, man. So please smash the like button if you can. The difference is, exactly. It's Ten Hag. It's not INEOS's guy. They didn't hire him. You know what I mean? But he's on holiday. You know what I mean? Thinking that he's got still a chance. And also, I think Ten Hag's contract is that he has 1 year left on his contract, but he has the choice to extend it another year. So technically, he has 2 years left on his contract. So, you know what I mean? That's something as well. How much is that contract? How much do we have to buy him out? Is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? I don't know what the fee is right now. So there's a complication there as well in terms of the fee of sacking the manager. The compensation you have to play out. So I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Listen, it's going to be difficult, but ultimately we have to just be patient. A lot of fans who I see online calling them the Glazers and whatnot, and INEOS, we all ask for football structure. We all ask for not immediate decisions. We all asked for strategic planning and making sure that they do things right, not the emotional way. So what we're seeing now is not the emotional way. They're actually showing us that we're emotional fans and we can't be patient.
The Glazers would have sacked him by now and hired Poch.
Yeah, they would have hired Poch, and then everyone would have been saying, "Yo, Poch out." You know what I mean? Let's just be real. So you know what I mean? Like we're quick to criticize, but then we're not quick to understand where they come from. So you know what I mean? I think for me, is it ideal? Probably not. But again, transfers, I don't think it's the biggest priority this season, man. I really don't. Like, a lot of people, like, genuinely, man, I think it's A, the manager, and B, the players that we sell as well. Honestly, that's why I'm only bothered about losing out on Elise. For me, Fofana and Onana, bro, similar players. Centre back Inacio or this player, like, bro, it's not like a wow factor. Like it don't give me that players. Kind of like. Sorry,
they're all system players.
Yeah, that's it. So if you can get a good system that fits them in, then I think then you see something that might cook. But right now, like, I genuinely, for me, like, signings right now, I'm actually scarred by Mason Mount, Anthony, all of these signs that we made, and it's not worked out. And we're kind of dealing with. You said it before. We got Ahmad and all these guys, but where are they going to play? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So there's a lot going on.
Even Forson's been let go as well.
But that Forsen one was just so stupid, man.
No, it's stupid, Saeed, because like there's been times when he was playing or being played by Ten Hag, and it should have been Ahmad to get his chance, and he was coming on. I know. So it's just like if you've done that, you've just wasted. It don't make no sense.
But the thing with Forsen though is that he was. I don't know. The club were trying to get him to sign a contract because then they could then get a deal out of him. Do you get it? So they wanted him to sign a contract and then later on sell him for a good profit because everything's profit, right? So, you know what I mean? They kind of, they tried to play us there with Forsen, man. And fair play to him, he hasn't, you know what I mean? He hasn't signed a deal because he was like, nah, man, I'm not playing for that.
to be fair, I blame Ten Hag when it comes to Fosun.
Yeah.
Like, how do you let an Akamadi lad, kind of like he was giving him minutes that Ahmad should have gotten.
Yeah.
He was giving him minutes. I mean, like, you let this kid play you and say, hey, we have to give him minutes. He wasn't even that good in the academy. Why were we so desperate to play him?
We saw in the whole, what's it called? I saw in pre-season he wasn't good enough. Like, the whole B team was cooking, and he was not it. The other kid looked better. I don't even know what his name is.
French dude.
The French dude, the young baller. I think he's like 20 years old.
Elanga is better than him.
Oh yeah, that French baller, man. Where is he now, buddy? We sold him, innit?
We sold him for peanuts.
Yeah, I remember that kid. He
was moving nuts, and he didn't get to give it no chance. I don't know what it is that. Honestly, it goes to show Ten Hag's talent ID is absolutely more or less shocking. It's shocking.
Guys, why is that shocking? Why is that shocking, guys?
Emran, because he went, like he said, I'm not going to keep repeating about this signing stuff, but if we go straight to the academy stuff, I'm in beliefs. Bobby Manu was always going to come through like Mason Greenwood did. I believe Garnacho, we got Young Player of the Year. How can you not put him into the first team setup? You look like an absolute dickhead. I'm not saying that, that's all on Ten Hag and Ten Hag didn't develop them or however it is, right? But when it even comes to them academy prospects like to Forson, I mean, look, Forson must have good people around him. Like my man just said in the comments, Lincoln, he must have some good people around him to know, no, you should leave this shit out. Like, you should go and get your chance elsewhere, right? But when he got chose over the other kid that was doing better than him, it goes to show some people, even if they're showing promise on the field, they're still not going to get given a chance due to obviously the person's talent ID. That's the way I look. That's the way I look at it.
I think to give a balanced argument about this, I'm pro Forson. I understand. We watched him last summer in the preseason, and I do agree. The French dude, you're like, okay, yeah, he stood out to me. But Forson, there's a couple of games this season, he came on late in the game for a job. He's physically, he could do the job.
The Wolves game stands out. The Wolves game.
Was that the one? Okay, was that the one? So I was quite impressed with him. And I think, like you say, he's not the finished article just yet. This is a guy that should be able to develop at the club. But obviously, as we're hearing, as Estrella's saying, he's not signing a contract and he could be leaving. Apparently, does his contract run out this year or something like that? So it's a disappointment in a way. But what I'd like to see is us, instead of ripping players, let's develop them. Because there is something there. There's something there with Forson.
I don't think there is, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I think there is. He's an athlete, for one. And I think you can develop that and get something out of him, get a tune out of him. You could work with it. But going forward, obviously, there was a suggestion there that he got played ahead of Ahmad. But I had no issue. I remember the game, he came on, and I was thinking, where's Ahmad? Ahmad's on the bench. I thought, no, that's the right decision because he worked harder to get down, to close down at that stage of the game. It was good game management for what we needed. So to blame Ten Hag to say he's got poor talent ID or anything like that, I don't know. I can't really go with that. I'm just trying to
be fair. He does.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I hear your part on Forson, but at the same time, I ain't trying to hear it either. I mean, this is the same way when Scott McTominay came through. It's like, yeah, we should develop him. Guess how that turned out? It's like if we want to use something that you look on the eye, that's not it. You can see that Forson is not it. We could always see that Scott McTominay. That's why I'm using it as kind of relevant to this situation. You look at it, it's not it. Develop, and guess what? Probably hindrance to us, our midfield, because what? He works hard. The bare minimum. The bare minimum.
You're supposed to. All right. Yeah. I like Scott McTominay as well, so I don't want to get bumping heads and all that, but I do think you got a player's got potential. We don't have complete players. Players are good at certain aspects in their game. Same as Scott McTominay. Where we can talk all day.
Don't you feel like you haven't got it?
What would be? But he has been effective. In our squad, and he's someone he's been quite important for us coming off the bench, and he's sort of a player as well that's happy to sit on the bench. You need that sort of player who's not going to demand, I need to be playing every week. He's coming off the bench. He's a good pro. He's good to have around the club. So I kind of understand why Scott thing, and I value Scott McTominay a lot, but I do see why people don't rate him because you're supposed to work hard, and that's one.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, leading on to another player that we were meant to discuss before, that's Bruno Fernandes. He's a player right now who is demanding a lot. Who wants to increase his wages. There was a news coming out today from the Guardian mentioning about Bruno Fernandes and whether he should be on more wages, considering the fact that some players in the squad are on high wages and whatnot. Brian, I'll start off with you this one, man. Bruno Fernandes, should we offer him 300k a week? He's on 250 right now. He's probably thinking to himself, "Yo, listen, it's my last contract. You know, I'm not getting any younger. You know, do you think it's fair? You know, that he's asking for that sort of money? What are you thinking?"
I don't think we should. And a lot of people are going to compare the Bruno situation with the Rooney situation when Rooney was asking for a new contract. But then we still had a number of good players in the squad where we could see we could go win 2-3 more league titles or something like that when Rooney asked for it. The Bruno situation is completely different. Like, we are not going to win a league title in 2, 3, 4 seasons.
No.
So is his net positive worth, let's say, if Saudi, for instance, offered £100 million, I don't think it makes sense to keep Bruno, give him 350k a week. So what happens next season? Let's say we go next season. Kobe Mainoo has an incredible season, insane season, right? He's our best player. So was his agent's going to start saying, "Hey, Kobe Mainoo, do you want to keep this talent, right? We need to be paid £300,000 a week." That's the problem. So for me, as much as I rate Bruno Fernandes, and I do think he's a good player, even with all his flaws, we can't build around him. Like, he makes our midfield structurally weaker, right? For all his positives, there are negatives with him. So for me, take that 350k you're gonna give you would want to give Bruno. Get £100 million from him, from Saudi, because Saudi would love a player like Bruno Fernandes because, listen, he's very popular. Cristiano Ronaldo apparently wants him to come to
he
Saudi.
wants him. Yeah.
So they will offer £100 million. Remember, they're not going to get Salah, right? They're not going to get Salah this season. So they want a big name to come in. So if we can get £100 million for Bruno Fernandes, the options out there to use to replace with that money, do what Liverpool did with Coutinho. Like, people forget that Coutinho was so good in the Premier League. He was their best player by far. And when he left, everybody was losing their mind, but they replaced him effectively. That's the job for INEOS. That's what they should be doing. So if you're getting £100 million, which is like 120 million euros for Bruno, take the money. No hard feelings.
Yo.
This is hilarious. Brian, I just want to quickly add, because I think I'm not sure about this, why Kaz is laughing, but it's like, who's going to give us £100 million for Bruno? Because,
as I said, it's Saudi.
They might do.
Wait, the reason why I'm saying not Saudi is because he's 29, if I'm not mistaken, or 30, or just shy of 30. He says he still wants to win and be competitive. Why is he going to want to go to Saudi Pro League?
It depends.
Because he wants
Many play. Okay, look at it like this. Bruno Fernandes said he wants to win and be competitive, but he's played at Manchester United for how many seasons?
Exactly.
That has not been winning. That's been poor. But now he wants, potentially, he will stay for 350k a week. Does that sound like someone that wants to be competitive? If he wanted to leave and go win stuff, he'd leave. He'd say, "Listen, you guys are not serious."
That's true.
Players would know.
Harry Kane do it. All I'm going to say is, how many times did Harry Kane do it before he left?
But Harry Kane's situation and Bruno's situation is different. Harry Kane has a connection to Tottenham. He grew up in the academy. It's like the Rashford situation for us. That's why people see it's more difficult to move on Rashford, because he has a connection to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, for all his passion and everything, really doesn't. Like, he might love the club from a standpoint, but his generational money he's being offered. People forget that. He might never get this money again. He might like to get it at Manchester United, right? And that's why he's asking for it. But if he doesn't get it, and they say, "Listen, we're going to pay you £500,000 a week. Come play with Cristiano Ronaldo." We can do it for 2-3 seasons. Go back to Europe, to like a Juventus or Inter Milan, and maybe win something. So there's options for him. It's not as crazy as people think. Like, the way footballers are moving now.
Yeah, it's true though, man.
So, Brian, I understand that, but I think that's kind of more like a FIFA game. Like, as much as just being respectful in my point, because like I don't understand why Bruno would go from potentially wanting to compete to go Champions League. He's just won the FA Cup. Not to say that it's a massive cup, but it's one of the biggest cups in England. To go into Saudi Pro League to go play with Ronaldo. Like, let's not pretend that what Saudi Pro League are doing is going to take time. So that offer is always going to be there. Might not always be the same number, but that option is always going to be there as long as you're playing at a competitive level. So I don't think there's any highness to go and quickly jump over and go there right now. I would say, if anything, if he was to go, I wouldn't actually mind. But the risk is, if he does go, is either we're entrusting INEOS to replace him with the correct person, or for somebody else to step up, and that could be a massive. As good as getting rid of him, it could be also bad as getting rid of him as well. If you know what I'm trying to say, if he's not properly.
No,
It depends. I think there's enough players out there that you could replace Bruno. Like, people are not seeing the structural issues. Why Bruno looked good in the last few games of the season is we played him as a false nine. And we basically had 3 midfielders covering for him
Yes.
in that midfield. That's why he looked better. But next season, teams are going to look at it and I'm like, okay, Bruno's going to play as a false nine. We know how to deal with this now. That's what happens in Premier League seasons. Like, teams are going to look at it with Manchester United play tactically. And if they play like that again, you think Pep Guardiola is not going to be ready for it next season? You think, like, I just think, we'll see, even if Saudi doesn't happen, Bayern Munich might come in with an £80 million offer, right? That's not crazy because they know Manchester United are not going to want to sell. The lowest I would go for Bruno Fernandes is probably £70 million. That's for me is a little bit
cash
cheap.
up front.
Yeah. So I think the net negative of keeping him is there's so many other things dominoes he could knock over. You give him £350 million. This is his final contract. He goes into his next season. Well, we're still developing. We're not going to win the league next season. We're not going to win the league the season after that. Then what's going to happen? Okay, Bruno he might not be happy. He might then want to move then. Now he's on 350K. Who's going to want to get him? Nobody in Europe is going to touch him at that point. Nobody's going to touch him. So it's now Saudi. Saudi is going to look at it and I'm like, we don't know if the Saudi league is still going to be as invested in pumping the money in 2 years. We don't know that because when China fell off, they fell off quick. They were gone. So let's not. The money might be there, it might not be there. You know.
Let me. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Saeed. Go ahead.
I was gonna because I think Andrew, you sent me this in it, the wages in it of the players, right? So Casemiro's gonna look like he's gonna be likely to leave. He's on that 350K. Rafa Varane's left, so that's there. Rashford 300K. No Anthony Martial. Mason Mount's got more than Bruno Fernandes. Anthony, Jadon Sancho's there as well. Well, he's thinking Rafael Varane's leaving and Casemiro might leave, and Martial's left. There's money available. That's what he's thinking, guys. He's thinking there's money available.
After Ange.
So I sent you also the Arsenal. If you go to the Arsenal, that's what we should be aiming for. Yeah, they finished second in the league. They were in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Their highest paid player, they've got no one over 300,000.
Yeah,
bro, they got a lot of 240s. Oh wait, no, it's 240s.
Bloody hell, Kai Havertz is mad, you know. 280 Kai Havertz.
This guy's got one of the best agents we must know the football. You know that. I want to know what these are.
Chelsea.
By the way, can we clarify? Is this the thing? Is this base salary or is this including bonuses?
No, this is base salary. Base salary.
Yo.
So yeah, this is.
Look at Saka. Hey, look at Saka. That's what Russia should be on. 195, even less.
Yeah, I know.
And he's over 300.
Gabriel Magalhaes, he needs to get a new deal, man. Bloody hell. That is dead, man.
That's what we should be doing. That's where we should be at. That's what we should be doing as Manchester United.
We need to change. I think there's an easy way to solve Bruno. I don't think Bruno's one of them guys that we can be getting rid of. I think not right now. There's so many players that are crap, like worse off, that are not even effective, let alone talent, like Anthony, like Scott McTominay. But then again, Scott McTominay is more effective than Anthony that we need to be getting rid of, right? I reckon we need to adopt, which was said already, that we can't be giving him base salary of 300K. There's no way near. What we should do is probably give him an extra year, keep the option that's there, and revise his salary and give him
300K.
And probably give it and probably say, if you want this sort of salary, you can bump up your salary by 20, 30 grand. That's no issue. But the rest of it has to be worked in bonuses. That's how Man City's model works. And that's how I think Liverpool's model works. Or somebody else's. I can't remember who else. The base salary is always low, but not low, but like for a footballer's standards at at certain club, but then everything else is heavy in bonuses. So you can work for it, because we can't be giving this guy a 5-year deal. He turns 30 in September, I believe, and he'd be 35. You're dusted. By the time you're 33, we should be looking to moving on at the age of 32. Let's be real. If he's not doing as well, and we should be moving him on. The issue I have with Bruno Fernandes right now is that we're in such a sticky place between Kobe and Bruno. That's why we need a certain type of 8/6. Now, all of a sudden, let's say he did leave for the 70 million, which I wouldn't mind, 80 million, which I would love, 100 million, I'm dreaming. But on that notice, it's like you can reform a whole different type of midfield. You got Kobe, and then all of a sudden you can go get a different type of 6, and you can go get a different type of 8. And then you're laughing again. You go back to the 4-3-3, which we know. The 10, I like the 10, but I think the 4-2-3-1, you just don't know what you're going to get. Really, if you're going to get my sort of 10 that I like, James Maddison's of the world, the aesthetics where it does look good on the eye, they can contribute in dictating the midfield the way it needs to be, and not just in small-sided games. We're talking about the big games. That's the only thing is right now. But yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes can definitely get a better pay package deal, but I think he's put INEOS in a sticky place.
Yeah,
I agree, Cass. The other thing is, we're not winning things. Why are we rewarding players with over?
But that's why I said the culture is all wrong. But that's what they're going to change. Well, it's going to be difficult to change that now, because INEOS can't.
I don't think they're going to give him the. I don't think they're going to give him the.
It would have been done by now. It would have been done by now. And you know what? He's already. And
that's why.
Can we add context as well?
Sorry, Cass.
We can add context. His agent's already been exposed.
Yeah,
like too soon.
Yes.
And it's only just hit June. Crazy.
And that's why
Fabrizio
was reporting that his agent was speaking to clubs in Europe. There's no club in Europe that's going to want to sign Fernandes on his wages, even at 250k at 29 years of age. Like, go to Europe. Barcelona are not going to want to sign him. They've got players like Pedri and Gavi. Why would Bayern Munich go for him? They've got one of the best midfielders in the. One of the best,
and they still got Muller. They still got Muller there,
and they're going for my man from PSG.
They want, and guess what? And they want Verts next season.
Works, yeah. And don't you think this is the identical situation? Not identical, but I think it's a similar situation to like David De Gea, for like the impact that David De Gea had, that period where he was our most relevant player. He kept us in relevance for a period. Same things when Bruno, when he came and carried us, and then they've got to this stage where it's like now they're demanding more wages or guaranteed playing time in De Gea's case, and we're all saying that they can go, but it's like, what other team's going to take them? Because all well and good saying Saudi's going to come in for them, but like Andrew just said, there's a lot of top other teams that he wants to go to that they don't necessarily need him. So it's like the only options either he stays or he goes to Saudi Pro League, or he just sees out his contract. Those are
when the article came up earlier, it said Bruno was off in 2022. I read it, came up very quick, that he was on 220 grand or something. He got a new contract in 2022 to 220 grand. So prior to that, he was on a smaller wage. I don't sense that Bruno's the sort of guy that once he gets a big contract or improved contract, that his form's going to dip. Because since he's been at the club, I think he's been our best signing since Fergie, for contribution, for his attitude. Obviously, he gets a lot of critics. I mean, this is a showcase club. Everyone gets the spotlight on them. So you will find some problems with every single player. But I like Bruno, and I think we should keep him. He should be valued. When you talk about, we were talking earlier in the show about our wingers, saying we've got Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, and somebody else, and we're struggling. We need Elise. But if you get rid of Bruno, then where's our goals going to come from? I really think Bruno's undervalued.
We said that about Tottenham. We said that about Tottenham, though. When Harry came there, we said, where's the goals going to come from? And all of a sudden, like,
better system.
That's about the team and not about the player.
I think the player. My point about Bruno is, I think the player is a very talented player. But on top of the talent, his talent's up there. I don't know, unless you're going to deny that he's talented. He's a very talented player. But on top of that, what I like about him is his attitude and work rate. I think that when you got that balance there, at 29 years old, I think that's a good.
He's best when he stops moaning as well.
People might. I don't really care about the moaning side of things.
No, moaning
for Man United.
No, the moaning is dead. I know if anyone's played football at any level, just as a human being, if someone moans at you and keeps moaning you at the pitch, you end up saying, "Shut the up. Like you saw
Yeah.
Sancho do it. We saw many players do it.
Yeah, Sancho did. I remember.
In the City game, he was very impressive because you know what you noticed? He wasn't moaning, and you kind of noticed he was focused.
100%.
He was focused. So
You know,
stop the moaning
that's
and
what's
shut up and be disciplined. And all of a sudden, he had one of his greatest games that he's probably had in the Man United show where it matters against that City. But you're not going to get that consistently.
The system for me.
And then if he moans, the other players think they can moan too. Garnacho starts moaning. Rashford starts moaning. And then it becomes infectious.
Oh, it's so toxic, man. Yeah, it's true.
It's such a toxic characteristic.
That's the reason to get rid of him.
He's moaning
the first thing,
isn't he?
No, but it doesn't matter. Like you have to be positive. Like the thing is, there was a game where De Bruyne was moaning a little bit. Pep took him off straight away.
He took him off. I remember that game.
I wasn't arguing. I wasn't arguing against him. I wasn't arguing. I wasn't arguing to get rid of him.
But the thing is, it's such a loser character, and that's one of the first things. If you listen to Sedell Brasford's podcast, he did it in November last year. So just before he got the United job, he goes, moaners, they're the biggest losers in a team environment. If you start moaning at your teammates, it's such a loser characteristic. Just because it's infectious, you're blaming others. It spreads negativity, and it's not good. And I think maybe Bruno's been coached out of it, and that's why he was really good against City. But I hate it. I hate it when Rashford does it a lot too. Rashford always blame. He'll miss a shot and then he'll blame. He'll put his arms up, trying to blame.
But he's a confidence player though, man. Like with Rashford, he's not. Everyone's allowed to moan. Like you're allowed. Of course you're allowed to moan, but when it's consistent, allow it. You just know as soon as you get inside their head, it's done. He's not having a good game either. That's the only issue I find with that.
People go to the ground. They come on the channel sometimes tell us that Bruno is always positive. He's always giving out positive things. He's always talking. Good communicator on the pitch with his teammates. I understand sometimes you might pick out a moment where you feel he's moaning. Rashford, yeah, I've seen that. But I think he's a positive kind of guy. You see him pointing, talking, encouraging. He's taking that mantle. He's taking that armband. And saying,
his head, though.
I want to be that guy. So the only place I see he's moaning is, which I think is a good thing sometimes, is when he's getting knocked. Getting hit, ref, look at it. And then the referee will be pressured to give a free kick in a dangerous area or something like that. But I haven't seen so much of the other side of things you guys are talking about. Because I've heard some positive things about him from people pitch side as saying, no, Bruno is a positive guy. He's giving encouragement all the time. But I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, real quick here. You see how they're refuting the point to say that, he's always moaning and stuff. I'll agree with Kaz, like he's a very petulant person. But then in the same instance, you're going to say the excuse for Rashford is that he's a confidence player. My thing I would say to that is that even though, and I know what you're going to come back with, but even though Bruno is a whiner, the performance level in terms of him trying doesn't drop. Whereas Rashford, when it's not going his way and he's moaning, the performance levels and his like tracking back ability, just working hard in general, drops completely. So it's like, if the argument here is that you want someone who's going to be consistent on both elements, then just get rid of both of them. That's the way I feel anyway.
Yeah, true.
But I'm realistic. Both. You're not going to get rid of both of them in one window.
No, if you had to get rid of one of them,
I know. And you just want to get rid of is Bruno. It makes sense. That's why I said I agree with you.
Yeah. I'd rather get rid of Bruno than Rashford, like all day long.
Can you make a midfield of Bruno, Menu, and a DM work? That to me is the most important.
I keep telling you,
I think you can.
Depends on what DM you're getting. If you go and get this kid that United apparently bid for, Neves had no chance. No, Neves. The one that apparently United have been linked with. Yeah, it's not even the fact he's small. I just don't think he's a 6. I think I see him more as an 8, man. He looks more of a Roman 8 than a 6.
The issue is you need the perfect 8/6. That's the thing. You need the perfect one. He needs to, because you know what? You need 2 players that are press resistant. Kobe Mino is press resistant. Bruno isn't. He's quite.
By the way, are you guys putting Kobe Mino as a starter now? Like, as in,
no, I'm still not. I need to see what's going to happen in August. But I just want to quickly add, Kaz. You see the 6 member I was talking about.
Yeah.
I still think that potentially we could go in for Rabiot because remember he's on a free.
I think he's going to Milan. To be fair, I think that's done.
Until I see Sanchos and Diva, that's what I was hoping for. Like maybe go in there for a free, and then we maybe can get up a final or something.
But Mino is definitely a star. What are we doing here? He's about to get his.
No, you don't know. But I think for me, people need to relax. A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he should be starting. Even Garnacho, I think he needs to take a chill. He needs to relax.
Both of them. I think both of them, man. I think
he's good enough. He's good
You-
enough to
the
start.
trouble-
him.
3 minutes.
No,
That's one.
I agree with you.
You
Kaz,
can,
I-
you
one
can
of the
manage
things-
you can manage minutes. Of course, you can manage minutes, but
Yeah.
to say he's not one of the first names on the team sheet, he's been called up for England for Euros and stuff like that, and etc. etc. He's about to get a new wage packet, which is obviously what he deserves probably as well. This brother is, I'm telling you now, all round is our best midfielder, and that says a lot. He's starting for
But
us.
he's young. He's just turned
Kaz, I just
19.
want to ask. Sorry,
So
I'm
what?
just asking-
Musial is
gassing
young.
up one too much. He's getting-
Verts is young. No, what are we doing here? No, 1 sec. Verts is young. Musial
Yeah.
is quite
How old
young.
is-
Adam,
how
wait,
old is
Adam,
Verts?
Adam Wharton's very young. There's a lot of these players are very young, but they're starting at top teams. I mean, Jude Bellingham is 19, 20 years old winning Champions League. What should he also be playing on the bench?
He's an anomaly. Jude Bellingham's an anomaly.
An
Let's not-
anomaly. Oh, are we,
let's
is,
not-
okay, cool.
Wow.
let's
Bellingham's
not-
anomaly, yeah.
Alright.
His rise to where he's got now is not standing.
You mean Lamau is
No,
16
no,
years
about,
age?
it's not an anomaly. I
No,
don't think it's an
it's
anomaly.
not-
Wrong word.
Okay, maybe not an anomaly, but it's very rare in football that we see this. It's not a frequent. It doesn't happen on a frequent basis.
Jao Neves, by the way, he's a defensive midfielder / centre mid, right? Yeah, he's played pretty much every single game for Benfica. He's exactly the same age as mine. So
Mainly what Jude, George. Mainly what Jude.
Hey,
Mainly what Jude. Who would
Can I
you
just
rather
add in-
have?
Can I just add in 2 points? The fact
That's
that
that
we're doing
question.
the
That's that question, though.
No, wait. The fact that we're doing the age thing, yeah, is I understand that if you're good, there's no such thing as age. If you're good enough, you're good enough, innit? But I think it's different when
Yeah,
you're
I agree.
young.
I agree.
When you're a young player, and you're playing at United, it's a whole different pressure as well compared to where you're a young player somewhere else. We've seen that with other players because when they've come to the Premier League, it's not the same. Secondly, my thing, Manu, I agree with you. He should, like I said, this episode, I'm not really opposed to most of your opinions. I think you're telling the truth, but I'm just comparing it to when Phil Foden had the breakout season and he got the new pay package. He wasn't.
Oh yeah. No, he was gradually.
He was
I hear
gradually. And this is what I'm saying with the youth academies. The moment they get like a little good spell in our team, yeah, is give them everything straight away, put them in the first team, and then it's like when they start to go downwards, people wonder why. It's like maybe don't force them so much.
I hear you, but we're not. I think most of us could probably be in unanimous agreement, right? Is that unlike City, we're not in that position. We unfortunately for Kobe Manu, he's our best midfielder overall, like all round, shall I say. And we don't have that luxury of having a Rodri, a KDB, and someone else who you can, like how we used to, like edge or people into teams like slowly and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that like luxury anymore. So for us, for me, he's a no-brainer starter because we need to build a team around him and not a team with just like with him in the squad. He is the guy to build around. The thing that we failed to do with Pogba.
Yeah. Big up. Amino says Bruno is like a gal who need the moan in order to perform, if you know what I mean. There are better gals in the market. The question is whether you will. You know what I'm saying? Good analogy there. I'm for French, but I don't get this Fofana hype. Listen, I'm English and I don't get the who else? Who's there, man? Just because you're French, bro, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
It's a 25 million pound player, right? That's how much it's going to cost.
20. They're saying 20 million. That's a no-brainer. These are. The thing is, if he goes to Liverpool, do you not all agree? Went Liverpool, Bear Man are going to clap it up. Michael Edwards masterclass, and all. But comes to Man United, like I don't know. We need 2 DMs, but I wouldn't take Fofana because I don't get
like
the hype.
when Kante came to the Premier League, no one really knew who he was until he had that really great season at Leicester, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, this guy is incredible."
I think we've been conditioned into like over the years of all the big signings where we don't allow the actual scouting to bring these players to life. They always go to somewhere else.
Our scouting is quite good.
Yeah,
man.
So everyone just knows big name players. If they're not a big name, then it's they're kind of dead. But I actually agree with you. I think Fofana, for what he's worth, Brian as well, that 20 million you're saying, I think it's a safe option to then go and invest somewhere else in the pitch rather than spunking it all in one place and then struggling to go for another position. I think if this is what they're trying to do, then at least it makes sense rather than just going for a big household name in one place. Doesn't make sense, man.
With that Fofana guy, what I do like about it, because I think we lack physicality in midfield. That's been proven this season. So
Legs.
I went to check him out. I'm like, God damn, he's a unit. But is it just because he's a unit that they're saying he's good all of a sudden? What else has he got? Who's I don't know much about him.
He's very good. He's very from what I've seen. I'm not going to go and like I'm a massive Fofana fan. I'm not going to go and like I know everything about him. But from what I can see, he covers a lot of ground. Do you know what I mean? He screens. That's all he needs to do is screen, and he's got a bit of technical ability about him. Sometimes I think his decision making can kind of be a little bit slow though. But I feel like with time, he can adapt to that, man. I think a lot of players can adapt to that. But 20 million is a no brainer. Like it's a good deal. Go get another midfielder after that, then, right? No, go get yourself a Drewsbury Hall. We need we need to pick up one of these IC1 midfielders at some point because guess what? They're going everywhere else, but here.
Yeah. Question, really quick for everyone in the chat. Yeah. So if let's say we got Fofana for 20 million, would you not be satisfied if they kept Amrabat?
No, I wouldn't mind as long as it's not Ten Hag because you don't have to. Clearly, he doesn't like him or
rotate him. The manager. Okay, for this whole scenario, Ten Hag's not even here. Doesn't matter. Whoever you want is here. Cool. Would you be happy with them keeping Amrabat as the actual signing for the summer?
If we got another one, yeah.
If you got another one, yeah. I think for me, still need another one. Man. I think Amrabat's the kind of guy that, you know what I mean? It's a complimentary signing. I don't think it's one of them where, like, you know, I'm not like thinking, yo, we must sign Amrabat. If we sign him, cool. If we don't, I don't think, is anybody losing sleep over signing Amrabat? I don't think we're losing sleep over it. He did show a bit of good performances towards the end of the season, but again, I'm not losing sleep over it. But, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be opposed to him being at the club. You know what I mean? I think he's got his qualities. You know what I'm saying?
We need a couple Akis at the club, man. Come on.
We need like 3 midfielders, if we're being honest. We need a lot.
Yeah, we do need 3.
You know exactly what
I'm losing sleep, dead signing. Bro, we're all losing sleep, man. You know what I'm saying to you? So
that's a chamomile tea.
But if you could sign any midfielder for Manchester United, who would that be? And please, name should not be De Jong.
No. Like I said, it depends because I don't know the style of football we want to play going forward now.
I'm not gonna rest until we get Manu Kone, man. Don't care.
Who's he played for?
Is he not an
8? Much on Gladbach. He's like 6'8". He could do it all, man. This guy is Dembele regen, man. Come on.
They're not looking at that. They're looking at this, bro. I think they're looking at this kid here,
Would you go for Kudus as an 8 in a new system?
No.
Kudus. No.
Yeah.
It's too much money though. Like they're not even. It's release codes not even active until next year.
Benfica are asking way too much for Neves.
Yeah.
Like 100.
I don't know
120 million euros.
I wouldn't mind if we got either Edison or even a João Gomez from Wolves. Like we need to look at players like that as well. I think I like those sort of players, but get somebody else.
We need legs, bro. We need legs.
Exactly.
We need ball carriers.
Edison.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't get Coop Miners. He's not really a DM though, is it? Let's be real.
He's got Juventus, man. He's got Juventus.
I know, sir. Don't want Kefren Turan personally. I just think he's too clunky.
These could easily go and get him, man. They're but I don't know how it works, innit? Obviously, you know they've got to think about other things. You know what I mean? They've got to sort their own manager out. They probably discussed with him that they won't take players from him. You know, but Kefren Turan will cost you.
Are you guys fully off? Are you guys fully off Nana as well? By the way.
100%.
Nana from Everton.
Yeah,
I'm not fully off it, but I know it will be costing you a lot of money as well.
I don't think so. As a squad player, especially they're in financial difficulties right now. They need to get...
the problem is we're targeting Brantwaite as well. I don't think we can get both. We would have to be one or the other.
I would stay away from Brantford. Brian, I would stay away from Brantford, man.
Me too. I don't think he's as good as people are making him seem.
I think he's good, man.
He's a good defender, but not like he's like Maguire, right? But if you want to play this system where you're playing out at the back consistently, you're receiving the ball at different angles constantly, playing out. I don't think he's that guy. You see Martinez, he's able to receive and pass the ball on so many different angles, right? He moves constantly. Brantwaite is like, he can play out, but
are you saying he's slow? United, are you trying to say
he's not slow? But I'm 6'6". He's like 6'5" or something like that.
Yeah.
No matter how fast you are as a defender, your leg is going to just watch his feet. Go watch him play, watch his feet. Sometimes the ball gets stuck under his feet. That's the issue that I have with him.
I know you mean.
That's That's the big thing. So
And he
if you
gets
press him,
turned as well. He gets turned quite a bit as well. Big up,
Kaz, just
big
75
up-
75 M's.
I think he's quality personally, me, in it.
What is he? Kaz, is he worth 75
When
M's?
No,
you
he's
got-
not. He's
Aye.
not. Nobody.
No,
Listen,
it's not, it's not.
nobody. United should not be getting any player that's above 50 million this summer.
I told you, Inacio, you didn't want to listen to me. I told you.
I said Inacio
Bro.
last year as well, but
Bro,
he got his,
you never watched one game of Inacio.
Inacio is the
Is
kind
he
of
any
signing.
Huh?
Inacio is really good. Inacio is
he
really
good?
good. Is
But in the wide channels, though, channels, I'm a bit concerned about him in the
but
the wide channels.
Is he quick? He looks slow.
that's why he plays in the back three,
He
no?
thrives. He plays in the back three. He thrives in there.
Yeah,
that's
but
what he does,
again, it comes down to the system and what we're doing. I mean, big up Adiwale. He says Manu Kone, Yusuf Afana, and Florian Wirtz.
Bro,
The three
Florian
I
Wirtz
would go
is
for right
100
now.
M's.
Hey, this
Florian
guy,
Wirtz. Hey.
has got good talent ID. I say Adewale for manager.
Bro, Florian
Well,
Wirtz, Adiwale, you know how much Florian Wirtz is
How
going to
much
cost you?
is going to cost you? 100 M's
Yeah.
plus, my guy.
Bring
100
him,
M's, man.
Bring him.
Bro, it's mad. I big up Mandy, songwriter, and he or she says keep Amrabat because we have Toby Collier coming through from the academy. He's a CDM that would be good together. Cobby in the number 10. Listen, I've not watched a lot of this kid, Toby Collier. But I think for me, I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, you know what I mean? Is this
Hey,
trust the youth?
That sounds like a Glazer statement, man.
Trust the youth?
Trust me.
You know what I mean? Youth project?
Nah,
Thank
man.
God.
You know what I mean?
would it be smarter to go get Wortham from Crystal Palace?
Now we're
that's-
talking.
Yeah.
Now
The
we're
kid's
talking.
class.
Adam Wharton.
The
Adam
kid's
Wharton.
class.
Yeah, Wharton.
How
for
smooth does he
How
look?
much would they want? They're gonna. How much would they want?
I don't think he's exploded yet. To be honest, I think he had a really good end to the season. I don't think he's like.
He's
I don't
gonna
think
be
they're going to
swathed
demand.
up.
Nah, he's
After
confident,
$100
man.
million.
I like the way
next
he
season
moves, man.
in that 3-4-3, yeah.
Bro,
In
he's
the Palace
so-
team, yo,
You know what's
yeah.
about good about him? The way he receives the ball on the half turn, and he's elegant, man. Man just skips past you, man.
He's very
killed us, man.
combative.
I have
Yeah.
feelings if we don't get him, City will get him in the next 24
Do you know what I
months.
like about him? It's
Easy.
the way he
He's a
moves the
city.
ball. It's the way he moves the ball first time. That's what I like. It's like, yep, first time. Go look at the England game yesterday. First time. It's just easy, and he's playing with the second team as well, second string team. I think he's.
It's like he's got a bit of character in him. He's got.
This is what I'm telling you. There's a new breed of IC1 midfielders coming through, yeah, and we need one of them at least.
Varela.
Archie Gray.
If you pair
Who's
him
been
and
all-
Menu
obviously-
together in the midfield,
It's a pair. It's
Bro,
a
that
good pair.
midfield
England
would
will
be
be-
insane.
will be-
How much would he cost you?
A lot of money.
I think if
60,
we I think it'd be worth it if we go pay 70 million for him right now.
I know.
No,
I agree.
can't-
I agree.
I think he'd be worth it because
I actually agree with him.
But
think
only-
about it. Okay,
Can
what
I ask you a question
what
as
other?
well? After. Go on.
Now I was just gonna say, what other midfield are you gonna go for? Anybody else is gonna cost at least 60 M's outside of Fofana. So why don't you just go and get someone that you know the rates this guy is developing? You have him and Menu together in that midfield. You're set for a long time. You know.
That's
And
what I'm
for me,
saying.
I don't
That's
know.
too much of a gamble, Bram, because it's two youth players. I'm taking a gamble on what they might be. Remember, we need to bring, like you said, stability back. So it's like you're going to fork all that cash out on a maybe, and then if he doesn't hit the ground running, all the fans
That's
are
the
on
same
it.
as a player that we've only watched a couple of times.
I would
different-
love
No. But Saeed, the argument is that if he's going to cost you 70 million, we can get other players like the Kone, Fofana for under the 70 million for combined, and that's two players that can arguably maybe play both positions, and it gives you more versatility
Only
and
issue-
stability.
Only
Well,
issue with this though is like I don't trust a pair of midfield. I know they say if you're good, you're good enough, you're old enough, and all that stuff. But I wouldn't trust a pair of 19-year-olds
Yeah, trust
go
me.
moving us forward to where we want to be. That's Chelsea all over again. So I agree with you there, Estrella, innit? Like we need that. So I like someone else. I like the final guy, Viper. He reminds me of Michael Carrick a little bit. You know,
Would be buying
Who's
in
he
the
play for?
future though, yeah.
I like him a lot. I think the only issue is I'm not too sure about
I
his
don't know.
mobility too much. This is what I'm saying. When you got Bruno and a Manu, you need someone that's kind of quick that can cover ground quite quick. Viper is more.
That's why I like Worth.
But the thing is, he presses spaces really well, and that's something we lack upon. Viper does that job as well. I do like the idea, but you'd have to get somebody that's quite mobile. I think in front, like a
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall.
Neddy says Varela, Porto, Manu Kone, then Wirtz next season, and then INEOS says Paulinho, Water for midfield will be boss. GGMU. Listen, with the Paulinho thing, I think You know what? I'm not sure what he will do.
He's not as good
I'm
on the
not
ball. Cepalinia, right, from Fulham.
Hey. Sorry, I thought I see something then. Yeah, Paulina from Fulham. Yeah. But again, I don't know if they're gonna sell him or not. I genuinely
No, they will sell him
if
if we offer 50 million pounds. I think they were ready to sell him to Bayern Munich for that amount of money. So I think that would be good. But the problem I have with him is just like he's a defensive monster, right? But you're getting to that situation where Fabinho was a defensive monster. He's 28, 29 years old. You're getting to that place where you're like, are you really going to want to make it an Casemiro 2.0 mistake where it's like his legs at some point, he's going to start slowing down. So for 50 million pounds, probably not going to be worth it for me.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, people are just saying like till I might get sacked tomorrow, man. Listen, man.
He's going to get sacked. He's going to get sacked.
I don't even care about this topic anymore. If he even gets sacked, I don't care. I'm just concentrating on like the little wins for me is having a common consensus of that we're all on the same page moving forward, and that what we all know what needs to happen. I don't really care for what the manager is. If they sack him, they sack him. If they don't, they don't. I just personally think they should have done it by now. But I'm going to go with your philosophy and go back INEOS. So that's what I'm trying to do in it.
Yeah, listen, you have to, man. You have to. Listen, I never wanted INEOS to begin with. I was Sir Jim. I was pro Qatar. I was speaking to Sir Jim, Sheikh Jassim's son on Instagram, man. We were chatting and we were saying, yo, man, when are you trying to sign this deal and whatnot? And I was trying to organize the Qatar deal, man. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a la last minute, fam. That's a la last minute.
Yo, bro, I was trying to pine it, but it didn't work out. And listen, we have to. You know what? The thing was with the INEOS is that they brought me a bit of hope that with this football structure, you know what I mean, that they're gonna get players in regardless. They're gonna get rid of the deadwood. They've given me some sort of hope that, you know what, as bad as it may be, at least there's credible people taking it. You know, when you got like I don't know, man. You know, the parents leave you. You know, they go away for the weekend and they say to the oldest child, "Yo, look after the kids and that." You know what I mean? Like they trust them in it. Like that's the same thing now. We trust the people who are taking control of our football club now.
Surely we get news this week, though, man. When I'm hearing Chelsea, I know whether you want to believe or not.
Bro, Chelsea have already. We shouldn't compare ourselves to Chelsea, man. We shouldn't compare ourselves to Chelsea.
If we don't even know who the new manager is, how are we ever meant to go into negotiations?
But that's your problem then.
Yeah, to go in with that, and even Elise don't even know who the manager is. So why is he going to want to sign for someone? It's in the unknown.
The good thing is we don't.
How long does a review take? Like,
we don't know. We're here to we don't know about that, but I'm sure the insiders know what's going on. So anyone who's a potential signing will probably know behind the scenes. All right, my man's coming in at the end of the week, or this guy, can you work with him? I think the decision's probably been made already, and they've been very good, and you have to respect them for not leaking all this stupid information. How many times have we had stuff leaked prior to information, decisions being made? It's always been happening like that. So we give some credit to what the way we sort of stopping all those leaks, apart from the ones on the roof at the moment.
I was just but I was gonna say like you're saying that, yeah. But I still feel like leaks have been coming out regardless. Like everyone's saying what a great job they've done. Like again, I'm still behind them, just pointing it out. The people that they've hired for the positions that they're supposed to be starting, they're not even in the club yet because it's been messy. Like messages have been leaked out online, public forums. Like people know what's going on. It's not been like, oh, get this guy, and they're starting on Monday. It's been a bit more complicated than people are actually getting on for. But this was like a conspiracy theorist I had in my head, innit? Maybe they're stringing this out, and maybe leaking some stuff before the next season starts to get rid of all the leaks. They're trying to find out who it is.
Bro, they're sacking everyone, man. They're sacking
everyone, yeah.
It's the girl in the canteen. It's the tea lady.
Like I said,
is Kathy going as well?
Let's say Cluedo. Who did it?
I don't know if I told you, but I spoke to someone who works for the club on Sunday. I met him, I was having a chat. And he was saying, yo, bro, INEOS here are having weekly meetings and they're proper strict. You have to tell them everything you're doing. You have to tell them, you have to be so open and transparent. You know, he couldn't even get an FA Cup final ticket. He said, I've never seen anything like it. They're so militant. They're so strenuous. They're meticulous. They're not messing around. They are here to basically, and that's what I was like, you know what? I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad there's accountability. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
Yeah.
You know, and
Being-
apparently we're
being
hearing
complaining.
that Jason Wilcox, apparently, there was reports coming out today that apparently it's Jason Wilcox that doesn't like Ten Hag. He's the one that's basically pushing for him to be sacked. And I get it,
wouldn't be
because
surprised.
he's the footballing man. Listen, it's not the
My
man.
guy.
No, it's not, because at the end of the day, you got to remember, it's not really
and the other thing is-
Omar Berrada or whoever. It's Jason Wilcox is the guy that's been in the establishment of football. Watch him at Blackburn when he was there. This guy's a cultured man, you know. So you got to remember, he's the one that's
he knows what he's
driving
doing.
the sacking. Really, let's be honest. He's
other
the one
thing
that wrote
is-
the report, Ange. He's the one that wrote the report to the Glazers. Oh, sorry, to INEOS.
Oh, about what?
About the
what?
football and about how we're playing and about the style and
all the
That's
departments.
his job. That's his job.
Yeah,
He has to.
The other thing is,
Confident.
the other thing is, over the last 12 months, the Manchester United staff, they've been complaining way too much. They've been
Yeah, I
leaking to
know.
the media. So, like, they did a boycott or complain about Mason Greenwood when the club was trying to make a decision. You can't let the staff run the organization, man. You know, senior leaders need to be running the organization. They complained about ISO Speed being at the after party when Garnacho invited him.
Yeah.
They just complain. That now, you know what he said? He goes, if you don't want to come to the office, then you can resign and we'll pay you off. So a lot of them have been
basically.
complaining.
But that's true,
They
though.
don't wanna
Man
come
are
in.
working from home. What for, man? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
we're
like-
hearing a lot of
Oh,
things with
lockdown, yeah.
Wilcox. Like, he wants to take control of when the training sessions happen. He wants to take control of a lot of things that Ten Hag has been managing at the club. So I really don't know if Ten Hag himself is going to even want to stay, if I'm being totally honest. Because transfer control is going to be taken away from him. A lot of things with development between the younger team and the senior team is going to be taken away from him. A lot of stuff that he had control over is not going to be his purview anymore. So I really don't think it's as... I don't know. I know a lot of people are trying to find out if Ten Hag is going to stay. A lot of people on Twitter still have that hope. The way
gonna break the
INEOS
internet, man.
move...
They're gonna break
this. Not, yeah.
If he gets sacked, the internet's getting broken. Don't care.
It's just gonna drop. Like we probably get like a minute bomber from
If they
Einstein,
announce-
and then official news will drop.
I got a
If they
feeling it's
announce this week-
Wednesday or Friday. Wednesday or
If they
Friday.
announce this week that Ten Hag is staying, that would be a massive. Wouldn't that be a shock to everybody? That would be a big shock. I'm
It would
convinced.
tell
he's
me
gone.
where
I'm
INEOS
convinced-
are going, though. It would tell me
And-
that INEOS where they want to go.
Well,
You know what I
imagine
mean?
you just brought a guy
think that'd be a
and,
massive
and you
shock.
don't want no guy. Imagine if he is the one that doesn't want him to stay. Is it not meant to be harmonious, like and all that kind of stuff? Everyone's got to unite in the decision of who to bring in as a manager, so we can all work there. So if that's the case, I don't see it working if not everyone's in agreement. What's the point?
And how's it a massive shock if he gets sacked and a massive shock if he stays? Like, it's got to be one or the other.
What the bookies
No,
say
no.
right
I'm
now?
saying
What
that
the
if he
bookies got?
gets sacked,
Yeah.
if he keeps his job, I'm saying if he keeps his job, it would be a massive shock. I'm convinced he's getting sacked.
No, I don't think it'll be a shock
Like,
for me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm expecting him to keep his job. If he gets sacked, I'm not going to be outraged.
Really?
Oh my god!
Okay.
But then
No, I
Because
thought
this-
everybody was.
I'd be I'd be naturally disappointed because I'm like, rah, okay, say no more. But for me, it would
So you think
it would
what
more
do you
tell
think it
me.
is? Do you think it's 50-50? What can we go around? And
No, I
actually
think
get
for me it's
everybody's views?
80-20. I think it's 80-20.
Check the odds. Check the odds.
80 what? 80 what?
80 sack, 20% stay.
Okay, so you'd be shocked. That's 80%. 80% a lot. You'd
No,
be
but
shocked
the
if
thing
he-
is though, because you know why I can't be shocked. No, hold on a minute. Let me explain. If I would be shocked more so if it was the Glazers or whatever, but because they're footballing people, like I'm not gonna say I know more than INEOS right now because they've got people in there that know more than me. But I would be like, yo, like what's made you give a long review and then said, yo, he's staying? Like, what swayed your opinion? That's what I'm more kind of like thinking in my head. Like,
They can't find
something
anybody
swayed.
better. That's probably.
Well, if
But then again, that's what I'm saying. I'll be disappointed because I'm like, what do you mean
Yeah,
you
but
can't find anyone better? There is better. There is
But
out
if-
there. There's better.
let's be real. Even after, like, let's talk about Fabrizio, that repeat merchant. Yeah, like even he said, if you've been talking to 3 or 4 managers, yeah, 3 or
Agent,
4
no,
managers.
agent. No. He said agents of football managers, not
Agents.
managers.
Yeah. Okay,
Agents.
agents. Same thing, tit for tat, right? Like, come on, man. What is that telling you? Like, you're still doing it after the FA Cup. When Kieran McKenna is linked to your club and you've actually, and Athletic said, yeah, they spoke to him. What was that meant to tell the public? Like, come on, man. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's inevitable. Just hurry up.
No, but the thing
This
is,
is
they
what I'm
can't do that.
saying,
Then no, but if they do that, yeah, and they get found out and they get rejected, you know how bad that looks like on them. That's why they're not giving you information of, yo, we've made it official. Because you got to remember, talking to an agent is a bit informal. When you then speak to the manager or you have talks, that becomes a formal stage of negotiations. You then have to report to the club. The club then report to Sky Sports or whoever and tell the world that, yo, we're getting approached by Man United for our manager. So then it becomes a whole thing of, whoa, okay. And if you don't succeed, then they look like absolute idiots. So they don't want to do that. They want to play strategically. They want to play it well, and they want to play it sensibly as well. They're not here again to do the emotional thing. They're doing it right. If we're gonna get our man, we're gonna get our man. We're not gonna do it the quick approach and be so quick to do it. They're gonna be like, you know what? If we do it properly and we negotiate and we do it for, let's say it takes 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna wait for 2 or 3 weeks. We're not gonna do it quickly. So that's why they said, it's taking a little bit while. Like, you have to then manage the situation with his thingy.
So as of today, with the betting odds says here, this is from the Mail Online, that he's 4 to 6 on to remain as manager of Man United and 11 to 10 to be sacked. So it looks like bookies never get it wrong, really. 4 to 6 is big odds to say that he's going to stay at the club.
So I wouldn't be shocked.
I think it's 95% that he's gone, 5% that he's staying.
Yeah, because trust me, I think you'd say you would have said he's staying by now, surely. Like,
Kaz, do you know what it is? I think it's like a massive build-up because I think it's like a win-win for INEOS, like a quick one. Because like for the people that still want him in, if they drag it out and then they keep him, they can be like, oh, they're nothing like the Glazers. But then if they had sacked him straight away, it would have even worked in their favor. Like, oh, these are new people. They don't mess around. It's not emotional. If they had sacked him and got someone in straight away, I would have continued with them. Now that we're left in this limbo grey areas, like we've known we'll see majority of the season that this guy is probably not the guy, and all I've heard is that his job's on the line. Why haven't you just got rid of him and got someone else already? Unless the market is dead. That's the only thing I can put it down to.
I think the person they want is just. I don't think that name has been revealed yet. I just have that feeling that person that they want at this point, they haven't concluded talks and they want to make sure everything is right before it.
So do you think he's a surprise name? Like, do you think he's a young aspiring manager, or do you think it's someone like a Zidane or Zidane or something like that?
No, I think it might be someone at another club. I think someone maybe that's at another club right now, and they want to make sure that pay packet, everything is set, whatever compensation they have to pay is set before they go out and make a public approach, and then maybe it doesn't work and they look stupid. Because let's be real, if they make a public approach for a coach that is at another club, while Ten Hag is still in the job, it looks kind of weird. They would have to sack him first, and I don't think they want to sack him without having a guy in first. That's the sticky part for me. I think they want to be sure that they have the guy they want. So when Ten Hag goes, they're like, okay, this is who we actually want. And I don't think it's Poch. I don't think it's Tuchel. They would have hired them already if it was at that point. I don't think it's any of those guys. I think
maybe that's disrespectful though, Brian. It's just so wrong. Like
football is ruthless.
Yeah, I know, but Brian, that's like you having a girl, and she's waiting on your come up, and you're having her around, you're going past nice restaurants, and she's just chilling with you just to get to Uptown. Then the moment she sees what she wants, like a baller or whatever, comes around the corner, she just leaves you. This is because for the longest, this guy's given everything for the club. He's got us a cup. Fair enough, it hasn't been an amazing season, but it's like we're still like dangling the carrot in front of him, saying, "Yeah, we could potentially keep you." And it's public news that we're looking for a new manager. That's not how I feel like a proper establishment should run. I don't think even a human being should be treated like that. I think it's just disrespectful.
I think it depends. I think we don't know what they told Ten Hag. It's probably possible they said Ten Hag at this time will tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna be like, hey,
this guy's brother is a menace. What Roberto Garnacho is? I'm looking at it on Twitter right now. I'm thinking,
don't give him notice, man. Don't give him notice.
What did he do?
He don't know shit, man.
I like him a lot. Saeed. He's my favorite follower on Twitter.
What
he's my favorite.
Get out of here,
he
man.
drops. He drops dimes all. He's dimes all the time.
He's funny.
Funny.
Nah, I don't rate his thing, man. He's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo, man. I can't lie.
Everybody's saying there's
Why-
gonna be an
why is
announcement
that?
tomorrow.
Nah, man. He
Yeah,
just chat
because
shit.
he-
He comments
he
on
dropped it.
everything.
He dropped it. Let's go,
glazes
bro.
so many
Sorry,
people.
what-
Nah, man. He doesn't know
Apparently
shit,
shit,
Why
man.
don't you like it?
I just don't like the way he rolls, the way he goes online. I think he's doing a lot of harm to Garnacho's career, man. I think he should stay off social media.
I
How is
agree
he
on
allowed
that
to
one.
do this? How is he allowed to do this? How is this
I
still
don't know.
happening?
I don't think they're bothered. I don't think they're bothered.
So,
No,
so
but
you can-
Amrabat's brother, Garnacho, multiple times. People like Rashford, Harry Maguire.
Amrabat, don't do that. Amrabat's brother was backing his brother, saying, "Yo, he deserved to be the final." That's what the common consensus was. He played the final. I don't think Amrabat's brother and Garnacho's brother are the same. Amrabat did it on a TV interview that he agreed to go on. He's on social media trolling people. So
What?
you know,
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
So can you put up the tweet?
sorry,
So-
it's not
Can you
really
put up the
anything. It's
Yeah,
honestly, genuinely, it's not really anything. I swear down, guys.
But it's all-
You go and
Wait,
check. I don't want to give
playful
him the
saying.
airtime on here. I don't want to give
Wait,
him
wait,
no
wait, wait.
airtime.
Alright, quick one.
It's all
why does Rats-
playful though.
Rats called him a little mutant?
Yeah, man, bro. Not allowing, man. Genuinely, I think for me, if I'm Garnacho, yeah, I don't want my brother being on social media chatting shit like. Just imagine, you know what I mean, like other players like Rashford, yeah. One thing about Rashford, his brothers did, yeah. They would do the PR thing. Remember, his Rashford brothers was on social media, and then Ricky cussed him out here.
Well, here's what I was saying in regards to
Hold on a
that.
minute. One time, yeah, Ricky cussed out Rashford,
What?
didn't he? He said something mad, yeah. And then basically their brothers came on to defend him and said, "Yo, what are you talking about? You know nothing. You're not a manager, etc.,
He just
etc."
deleted all his tweets, by the way, I think.
Yeah, man, of course, man. That's what I'm saying to you. So don't ever have your family on social media, man. If I'm a footballer, I don't want my family talking about my career. I don't want them doing anything, man. Stay out of it, man. Stay out of
I
it.
think
Because you
with
see
the
what happened
new-
to Pogba. Pogba's brother, remember? They were wishing bad on him, man. They cast spells on the guy, man. They were putting juju on
Guess
him, man.
what? Guess what? He got done for drugs. Like 6
Yeah,
months
but
later.
obviously, you know what I mean. We still don't know if it's true or not.
Is
Anyway,
the new generation, man?
Yeah,
It's the new generation
it came back
of
positive.
footballers.
Nah, I still don't believe that shit. I can't lie to you, man. I think he's innocent, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, free Pogba. But yeah, go on, Brian. Brian, go on.
No,
Go
I was
ahead,
just gonna
sorry.
say it's the new generation of footballers and whatnot. But the people who actually handle stuff like this, that prevent stuff like this, is the guy we just hired from is it Chelsea or City? The communications guy. He's the guy that goes and makes sure family members stay in check, players stay in check. You're not liking stuff, and you get fined when you do stuff like this, right? These are the kind of things that INEOS are going to look at, because the person apparently we had in that communications position before was awful, right? They weren't doing their jobs. So hopefully stuff like this stops, because we don't need the mess. You know, we say, for instance, we bring in a new manager that maybe is going through a tough time, and then Garnacho's brother says something again. Like we don't need that. So hopefully we get dealt
Right,
with.
you know how you said it's the new gen players. Yeah, I just want to like check that. You know, this only happens at United, right? Like I don't see it happen at Arsenal, City, Liverpool, even in Tottenham. I don't see if you want to even call them a big club, but I don't see it happen to anyone else other than us. It's always us all the time. It's just frustrating.
It could happen, but that's what I'm saying. Like they have people in charge. Their PR team are on it. They make sure that this stuff does not happen. Like your family, you're held responsible for it. If something happens from your camp, because they're going to view it as your camp, you're going to get fined. That's what Manchester United are not doing.
So when does this so-called person start their position, or are they already not in place?
I think they should be. in place because it's a
Bro,
communications
straight away,
position.
man. You know what I
Straight
mean,
away.
bro?
It's
You
more
remember,
than this.
Van Gaal, Mourinho? Bro, it'd be like that, bro. I'm telling you now.
It's more than that. Apparently, you know that Ten Hag error, the one that absolutely rates him as well, yeah?
Bro, listen.
According to his little sources as well, he said on Saturday, he just screenshot, he posted it. Apparently, he
Bro,
said
he
Wednesday
don't
was
know
gone on
shit as
Saturday.
well, man. You see these guys, they're not United fans, bro. I'm telling you, like, these brothers here, man, nobody knows if they're United fans, man. Yeah, I'm telling you seriously, man. These guys, man. You know
My
what I mean,
favorite
bro?
one is Mike LHUHG. That's
He's a Real Madrid fan.
funniest
He's a
one.
Real Madrid fan.
He's not a United fan, but for a fact, I know
that's what I'm
he's not a
saying,
United
man.
fan.
Guys, man. These Avi accounts, man. I'm telling you guys, man.
Yeah,
I I don't know if they're United fans, bro. I'm saying to you right now, man. Because you know what it is? They could be these accounts that are made from United. Like, you know, United could make these social media accounts and just be like, you know what? Let's put out propaganda out there. You know what I mean? That we believe that might be good. Bro, look at the way now my United and all these Twitter accounts are using language that the people from Twitter are using. They're using football Twitter language. These social media accounts, they're doing it. They're actually doing it in live format. So why don't you think they would hire so many accounts to put propaganda on? They wouldn't, man. It's easy. You know, so
Saeed,
that's what I think anyway.
Saeed, you got a channel, yeah, and you're credible. You got enough views. And
I show my face.
Would you put one of the? I don't know. I'm not on Twitter so much, but would you put one of these guys on? Well, you feel shame putting up a report, say, yeah, guess what? This is happening. And then someone say to you, where from? And you draw up this guy, I don't know, all these people
but the thing is,
feel shame doing that. Or would you just go for someone who's credible, like a real news source?
No, of course. You have tiers in it.
About blue ticks and
No. You pay for the blue tick. You can pay for it now. You know what I mean?
I don't know nothing about all this. But
yeah. No. You can pay for the blue ticks now, innit? But for me, obviously, you have the tiers in it. So you have tiers are now. I would say the elite tier is like a David Ornstein. He's the guy that I think everybody can say is probably the most kind of credible. And then after that, you have the Fabrizios, you have the, you know what I mean, the Athletic, maybe a couple of guys over there, and then you would go down DiMarzio and these kind of guys. So you have all of these accounts in it, but ultimately, you know, people don't know. Nobody knew about Barada. Barada came out of nowhere. Nobody pointed out Barada's side. So end of the day, it's all about sources, isn't it? Whether you get your sources, where you get them from, etc., etc. So you don't really know, man. And now this is why they're saying to themselves, you know what? We'll put it out there that it's happening on this day. But in reality, you know, it's not happening. We thought it would be last Friday. Remember when Jacob Steinberg put the report out? He said he's going to be sacked after the FA Cup final. It didn't happen after the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the Chelsea guy. He's not really
Steinberg is a fraud, like Ben Jacobs, like Dean Jones, Soccer, whatever his name is. These men are frauds. I know you might like him and he might watch this, but he's a fraud, man. He's an Arsenal journal.
You think Ben Jacobs is a fraud? You think Ben Jacobs is?
I think they know some. I think people know some.
Let's not call him a fraud, but you know what I mean? Because credibility is maybe down a little bit.
You know it is, yeah. I know there's probably a certain way to say it, but just say it how it is, innit? I know people got friends you want to defend and all this stuff, but let's just call it out for what it is. When it comes to the Man United game, you're frauded, mate. Like, and the rest of them as well. We know who they are. That's why we all look to. Why do we not go live? If you're a content creator, you don't go live when Ben Jacobs breaks an exclusive, or Dean Jones, or Miguel Delaney, that absolute waste, man.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
He's the biggest fraud.
Miguel Delaney just makes
Miguel Delaney.
I like it is what it is. But look,
Miguel Delaney, but you need to stick to your sports washing articles, man. You're not a journalist. You know what it is though. These journalists they've gone a bit. They're not humble, you know.
You know what it is? It's gone from journal to clickbait now. It's gone to the click stuff, and that's why I think journalism has lost its way a little bit. That's why you respect the David Ornsteins of the world, the Athletics and Fabrizios, and then there might be a couple little bits and bobs, you know, who's good for your relevant club. So that's the way I look at it.
There used to be some French guy that
do you know what I mean?
First, you know, there was a French guy here that was like the biggest journalist here. He's now moved to politics. Does anybody know who he is? He was a French journalist here.
Lawrence?
Yeah, bro. The guy broke. He
Julian?
broke the Neymar story. I think it was Neymar or something. Yeah, he broke the story. Yeah, he was like the elite journalist. Yeah, and now he's gone to politics. He left the whole thing. So he thought, yo, bun this, man. Like, I'm not really feeling this, like, competitive nature. You know what I'm trying to say? So, I don't know, man. I just think for me, like, it is what it is. Like, we're aggregates, innit? We talk about the news that's been brought to us, and then we understand whether it's real or not. You feel me? We have our own. Now, it's not Julian Laurens. If someone can figure it out, then, you know what I mean? You get an A+ on that one. You know what I mean? So, listen, I look at...
Saeed, yeah. Has anyone ever told you yet? Like, you're just funny, even though you're not meant to be. Like, you don't even mean nothing. Like, you just
listen. I think for me, we're all credible guys. We just give our own opinions, innit? Like, that's all we are, man. We give our own opinions. You know, that's all we are. We might be seen as YouTubers, you know, but at the same time, we're just giving our opinions as fans.
What about Mappetees? Do you think they're credible?
Yeah, I can't lie. They're credible. They're credible. They're credible. At first, I can't lie to you. I thought they were frauds, but I'll be honest with you. They're credible. They get information from the club.
Yeah.
Muppeteers.
And they're respectful the way they
Yeah,
work.
they don't boast. You know what I
Yeah.
like about them? They don't boast about their stuff in it. They don't really kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like Rashford feeds them though, right? It's so Rashford positive.
The one
nah,
thing,
it won't be Rashford.
the one thing I would say about
won't be
Muppeteers,
I think they're very
is
balanced.
I don't think going forward they might get as much information as they are getting.
No,
right
no,
now.
no, they won't.
I think right now
That's
they
the
still
one.
have sources within Manchester United. Yeah, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
I
I
think
remember
right now
him.
they still have sources at Manchester United, but once INEOS finishes their clear out, I don't think they're going to get as much information as they're currently getting now.
No.
They probably know a few people on the scouting team or something that is feeding them information, or with the players as well, people like Rashford and stuff, their team. But I don't think that INEOS are going to tolerate giving them information. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Bro,
No
INEOS,
chance.
listen, that's what I'm saying. That's why certain channels here, they're worried right now. You know the ones there, bro, because the Ten Hag, you know what I mean, agency was giving them a bit of information. You know what I mean? So that's why certain channels are scared right now, because they ain't gonna get no more access anymore.
Do you
you
think
know the
that's
ones
real,
there,
though?
bro.
Saeed,
Like,
do you think
it
that's
is what
real,
it
though?
is. Hey,
Do you think that's real? That
bro,
the Ten Hag's
listen to me.
agency is
Listen,
using...
I ain't gonna say it's 100% certain, because we have to maintain that situation. But right now, I can't lie to you.
Defamation, careful.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think there's something fishy going on there. You know what I mean? Each to their own, innit? Everyone have their own opinion. But listen, you know what I mean? Well, everybody knows what's going on
To
down
be
there.
fair, I'm not going to speak to anybody directly, but like
Allegedly.
like at first I was like, there's no way, right? But the stuff I've seen in the last few weeks has got me asking a few questions on what's going on here. Like, it
Innit?
looks shady. He looks shady.
Yeah, the flip flop
me.
is. I'm telling you now, the flip flop is about to go down.
Yeah.
It's about to go down. All it will take is 2 videos. There will be a skeptical video, the 50-50, and then they'll be like, you know what? I actually like that guy and all that kind of stuff, and blah blah blah. It's like all the shit that goes on. It's the same shit. And guess what? Look out for the ones that's on Spaces, because them ones that are kind of they know a few things or so. It's the Spaces guys too. See them ITKs. Watch them flip flop. They're all the same. All the same, and I can't wait.
Can I just ask you? Can I just ask really quickly? Yeah? Once we know what's happening with the manager and things, let's say to get rid of Ten Hag now and they appoint somebody else. What would you do if they only make like three maximum 4 additions to the team, and they don't, and they only get rid of 1 or 2? They only get rid of 1 or 2 players.
Calm.
Yeah.
I'm calm, man. Calm.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying to you?
So predominantly next season we'll be starting with a similar squad, just with 2 or 3 additions.
No, obviously, you know what I mean. It depends on who stayed. Okay, you make the example. Who goes at the club? Tell me who goes. Give me. It depends, innit? It depends, but then again, you don't know what a coach does, innit? A coach will.
I don't want to say them because it could change. If I was to say Bruno, that changes the whole.
I'll give you two ones that just need to go straight away. Is probably Casemiro and
I think you can keep.
No, you can't count them. Players that we're not expecting, or players that other than those, you know.
Yeah, I'm with this. Once you
other than Casemiro, we already know Casemiro is basically going to go anyway. And Varane,
okay, there you go. Wan-Bissaka and McTominay in a bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll be fine with that because you're revamping the midfield completely, and we get a new right back. Done. It's a done deal for me. I don't mind that because I like some of these youngsters that are coming through. Develop them for a season. We don't need to focus on a squad. We need to focus on what's a good first 11.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And go that route, in my opinion. So
the reason why I don't think of like that is because when you focus on the good 11, it's when an injury happens or something, then the drop off. I don't want it to be crazy. That's like maybe we build up for the middle a little.
Yo, did you say the drop off? Can it get any worse? Can it? Hey, we're off a cliff right now.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think I don't think our squad is as bad as people think it is.
Catch up next week.
Yes.
Mostly because of the way we set up this season was diabolical. Wait and hang. It is. I've never seen a team play like this in the Premier League without a midfield.
Bro, it's mad.
It was
Preach.
painful.
Preach.
if I'm being honest, we single-handedly killed Casemiro's career. Like, if whatever.
Bro,
his
tell him
behavior
again.
is, we
They don't
killed
want to
his
hear that.
career.
Tell Staffy, tell so many man that they don't want to hear that. They just say, "Oh, Casemiro's finished. He's finished, bro."
It's like,
we killed his
if
career,
we-
man.
I've seen and
And we're gonna
like,
do this.
I've
Watch this.
seen,
Low key, we're gonna do the same thing to Lisandro Martinez. Watch this.
Hopefully, if we sign more players, that won't happen, right? We need to manage the way we use him. I don't think Martinez is the kind of center back that you play that's supposed to be your starting center back for me. Like,
Can I
like
change my mind, by
Martinez.
the way?
No,
don't
stay
think-
on that side, man.
Like, I've always seen
Yeah,
Martinez
yeah.
as
Sorry, Brian. Sorry. I
no.
apologize.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
No, I changed Wan-Bissaka for and I can't believe I didn't say Anthony on that list.
Oh, Anthony.
You said two. It has to be him. What on life?
Okay.
Well, lie, to lie. He needs
I
to
don't
go.
know.
That guy is.
I can't see Anthony. I can't see Anthony going. That's another. I can't see him
I
going.
can't see him going.
Because
He's
like,
alone.
He needs to
remember,
go.
80 million, the only way I can see, like, remember, he's only like 22, 23. Even if he's as bad as we think he is, loan him out and just hope that, like, maybe he has like a good 6 months.
He's 24 now, isn't it?
Is he 24 now?
Yeah, he's 24 now.
He's still younger than 25, man. Let him have like half a good
Yeah,
season
he's
and
24.
then recoup some money the following season or something. I don't think we should just cut our losses straight away like that. That's taking a mad L. Like a
You
mad
You know what it
L.
is, though? I low key, I know this is gonna sound wild, yeah, but I low key think another manager that isn't Eric Ten Hag
No.
might be able to get the best out of Anthony.
No.
Does that sound crazy, guys?
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
saying that.
That
You know
sounds
what it is?
wild.
I want to go forward
really.
with Ahmad and Elise.
No, but I'll be serious with you, man. Surely he can't be this bad, man. I don't. If a manager comes in
Actually-
here like a De Zerbi, and he comes in and I'm not saying he magically transform him, but becomes a bit more effective. I think the problem with Anthony, he's got no brain cell and he's a bit crazy. But if he becomes more effective, bro, it's not hard in the Premier League. I'm seeing
I don't think
like
Saeed-
Madueke.
He's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, Saeed, no, 1 sec. Saeed, what have you eaten tonight?
No, I'm just
No,
I'm just
honestly,
kidding. No.
I'm a guy. But you can talk to me. What have
Because
you
you know
eaten
what it is. You know what it is. We're not gonna get rid of every single player. Is that realistic? Yes or no? Are we gonna get rid of Anthony? Yes or no?
Maybe he was on the list apparently though. From what
No, but
we-
I'll be honest with you. Is he gonna get rid of? Are we gonna get rid of him? Though, let's be honest.
I don't think so.
So you have to play him, right? You have to play him, right?
Joe Linton. But before they moved his position, people thought he was a terrible player. They were
Yeah,
ready
but
to get rid of.
Bro,
yeah,
there's
but,
so
but
many
in the,
examples,
the thing
man.
is, he's got aspects that can thrive in the Premier League that you can coach into. Anthony literally got nothing.
No, but he can be coached.
I
Though.
think I
I can
can-
see. I think he can be coached. The only thing is, is that I just think for me, Ten Hag uses him in a way that I don't get it. I really don't get like what's his purpose in the team sometimes. Yeah, it's to retain possession and it's to keep the ball. But I just think, you know what? Like if he can have a purpose here in this Man United team, then you may see an effective. I'm not saying, by the way, I know he's been rubbish for the past 2 years, but surely I'm saying if the new manager comes in here and finds him a purpose, then you've got to just have that slim of hope, you know? So
I don't
know.
disagree with you, Si, but my thing is I'm tired of doing this slim of hope stuff. Sometimes if they've had their chance and they're not performed, get out. That's just that's as simple as that, man. That's what we have to do.
I think Anthony does deserve, because we know he's not probably going to leave. I think we need to back people. This is the problem we have. I know fan channels and everything. I don't like to disrespect players, man. They're better than me. Harry Maguire, I'm a centre back. Harry Maguire is better than me. I like him as a player. People disrespect him for whatever reason. With Anthony, I think, he's had a bad couple of seasons. We've seen that. But if he's going to stay, let's try to support him. Let's talk more positive about how we can get him to turn his game around. What he said there was very important about being more effective. I think if he can be more effective, just make it simplify his game, take the emotion out because he's like a crazed animal when he's playing football. Take the emotion out of it and just simplify it and get back to basics. I think he could do a decent job.
I'd rather chance it on Sancho rather than.
Yeah, literally. I'll just about.
Okay. I'm gonna ask everyone if you could keep one player, Sancho or Anthony.
Sancho.
Brian, Sancho or Anthony.
Sancho.
Yeah. Okay.
And but really quickly, do you know the reason why I don't want this to get misconstrued? Yeah, there's a specific reason why I hate Harry Maguire. Not because I think he's a terrible player, because to play in the Premier League you have to have some kind of ability. I just don't think he's good enough for United. But the main reason why I don't like him is the fact that he don't take accountability, just like Rashford don't. Like
That's got
he
nothing
would
to do
make
with
he would make key errors and cause us actual losses for the game, and then we'll come out and will not take accountability. He will say it's a team's fault rather than his own individual fault.
So-
He won't step up. He won't step up as a man. He'll allow someone else to take the blame for him. And it's like there was a period where he was playing crap for like 5-4 games in a row. The one game that we won, we weren't supposed to win. He came up off the bench and played the last 5 minutes. He wants to do a post-match interview. I don't like things like that in the players either. That's one of the main reasons why I dislike him and I want him to leave the club. Not just because I don't think he's good enough.
All right. I hear that. I've heard that argument a lot of time, and I've supported Harry Maguire since he's been in the club. I think he's a good player. Going back to 2018, seeing him play, I thought, wow, this guy can carry the ball out from the back. He's a good defender, wins all his headers. Granted, but I'm not going to sit here and say he hasn't got faults. Yes, clearly he turns like a tank. He struggles to defend in wide areas. He's a bit clumsy. Decision making is a bit thing, and he's become a calamity. Like a meme. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's hard to get rid of that reputation. But what I've given Creed, he's got character because he must have thick skin for everything he's been through to come back and still be at the club when he could have left last season or whatever and show character. He was player of the month in December, I think he was at some point. So I like characters in the game, and I think he's got a lot of character to come through all that, be slapped about on social media, everyone's laughing at him, Calamity James, Calamity Parry, whatever. And the stuff in Greece, and he still come back and still performs. And I think I don't think he's the best centre back out there, but I think he's one of the top 10, 15 centre backs in the Premier League. I used to say top 5, but that's gone up to 15 now. But yeah, I think he's a valuable player, and it's not someone we should be dashing out the door straight away. Harry Maguire, if you watch him consistently, I think he's got a lot of positives. Positives kind of outweigh the negatives, and the negatives have been
let Yaba do his positive stuff, man. You lot, man. Like, why you gatekeeping?
I get it all the time regarding Harry Maguire.
Yeah, but I just want you to acknowledge, Harry Maguire costs £80 million. Anthony costs £80 million. Now, when you're telling everyone in this chat that Harry Maguire is this good player, hold him to the standards that you hold an £80 million player at, please. Because all of this, he was good for December, all of this stuff. when Pogba came in and he didn't perform to the levels, £80 million, why is he not performing? Anthony, £80 million, why is he not performing? Harry Maguire, he's a good lad, he tried. He's got good mentality. No, let's not do that. Let's be consistent for everyone else. Judge him at that price tag as well. He's been piss poor.
I agree. You make a fair point. I accept that.
No, and let's be real, it's the perfect time to sell him. You've got Euros coming up. You've got a year left on his contract, maybe. I'm not too sure on that point. It's like it's a perfect selling point.
Who would buy him? Who would buy him?
There's a lot of teams. West Ham,
I think there'll be a few teams that would want him.
Crystal Palace, there's a few teams.
Especially if he had a good Euros. He didn't actually had a bad campaign for Man United.
Bro, good Euros for England. What is that though? That's a problem, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we know what they do anyway. They play the low block. They play, you know what I mean? And then they hit the people on the counter. We know what they... So it's not as if we're seeing anything magical from Maguire. He's going to have a steady World Cup. He's going to have a steady Euros.
But
he's going to have whatever.
The English media will hype him up.
They will. Let them do that.
If he gets to the final...
Brian, even if they do, I think we've got like a set price. Like all of this stuff where we're hoping that, they have a good this, it adds on value. I think some of these players already have a set value anyway.
You know what they say about... You know what they say,
You know what they say? Someone like West Ham would buy him.
You know what they say though? When they say you leave United, like your career doesn't feel the same anymore. Like that's why these players don't want to leave. Like when you leave United, and say now Maguire and McTominay leave United, they're irrelevant. Do you think they want to leave? They're gonna be irrelevant. Nobody wants to know about him. No brand deals, no whatever. Like bro, like McTominay is on the face of this Adidas, stuff right now. I'm seeing that's because of United. Maguire gets this crazy, status now because again he's at United, bro. Like they might not even be in the squad come when they leave United, etc., etc. So I just look at it from my point of view of we've elevated these players, we've given them a choice, but they won't leave as well. And that comes down to now INEOS saying, right after this is why they're reluctant to give Bruno Fernandes a contract because they're like, you know what? Nah, they got away with it. With Rashford, he got away with it. Shaw got away with it. That Shaw one, oh my God, he's a lucky. See you next Tuesday. I swear down that Shaw, because this brother got there before they came. Had he swear down, bro, he snuck in a 5-year contract. Yeah, is it a 5-year contract? I don't even know what it is. Yeah, he has snuck in a contract. Yeah, and that brother is going to be here for a long, long while now. For what?
I'm not worried about Shaw staying. I'm not worried about Shaw staying because Sir Jim himself does not like Luke Shaw.
But how do
doesn't
we
like
know
Luke
that
Shaw.
though? How do we know that?
He made a comment about Luke Shaw sometime getting a contract or something. I'll try and see if I
Did
can
he say
find
that?
it.
Okay.
He doesn't rate Luke Shaw. He doesn't rate Casemiro as well at all. So I don't think that's why they're looking for a left back. That's why Manchester United
Yeah,
are
that's
looking for a
true.
left back.
That's true.
We weren't
But again,
looking
yeah,
for a
even
left back.
okay, let's start left back. I seen today, yeah, Theo Hernandez. Yeah, I was laughing, man. I was like, bro, United are not getting Theo Hernandez. No chance.
We said we
No
want to spend low amounts on the next left back. Like
I don't.
do you know what I mean? That's what I
The
saw.
Bournemouth guy.
I saw this week, so I'm taking him. Kirkes, whatever his name is. I'm taking him.
Kirkes.
What from Borussia Dortmund? The one that's on loan from Chelsea.
No, the one that's
No.
at Bournemouth.
That's
Bournemouth.
Ian Matson. That's
I'm
Ian
taking
Matson.
Matson for 30 million release clause. I'm taking that Kirkes.
Would
Easy
you
get Gutierrez from Girona. I like these sort of players. Nori's another one.
Yeah, Kaz, what type of, that's what I was going to ask you, Kaz. What type of left back do you want? Because we was talking about this the last show, innit? What do you want, a defensive one or attacking one?
Well, the modern day one. I need a balanced or attacking one of the other.
Because on both sides, I was arguing last time because they were talking about left backs. Someone mentioned Nori, the Wolves left back, and I said I don't want both my fullbacks being that dynamic. I want a balance. I don't want them just bombing straight forward. I want at least maybe one of them to do it.
I think if you want possession, so if you're looking at possession, attacking base, they're going to have to be quite technical. So unfortunately, maybe the players like Anthony Robinson might not cut it if that's the case, because he's very athletic as well, and he's more of a transitional type of player. I like Robinson a lot. So, but if I'm going off what we've been told, I'm going to go for the Noris of the world, the Matsons of the world, and so forth like that, and maybe even Gutierrez. But I think I do like that Kirkes. He gives me balance. I like the balance of him. He's strong as well.
He was everywhere when we played against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
he was a menace.
I think, yeah. Nori's the one I'm looking at as well.
Left back position, we got Shaw, we got Malacia. Then we got behind that, we got the guy Fernandes is on loan. And we got
he's sold.
Sold.
Yeah,
I'm the last to know of all these signings.
Yeah,
we have a buyback, but we sold him for £6 million.
Amas? Is it Amas?
Yeah, he's the next one, but he's 17 though, isn't it?
Okay, fair enough. All right, I understand why we wouldn't get one. So Malacia, you talk about he's done then.
We don't know. We don't know.
He looks like he's just come back from jail or something, man. I'm telling you now. I think he's been in pen, man. I don't believe this injury, man.
I do know the story.
Yo, he looks like he's come from jail or something, man. It's mad. You know what I'm But I don't know, innit? You never know if he's gonna come back the same way, Malacia. You know, so
I think we might need two left backs and a right back. Because Kaz, you said, and I agreed with you, even though you wanted to change it. If we get rid of Wan-Bissaka, we're leaving Dalot by himself. Unless he's willing to stay in, and I don't think that's messed up.
Get another right back, obviously. See, the thing is, I don't know who, to be fair. At the top of my head right now, that brother there's that guy from Fiorentina that I quite like, from what I've seen as well. He's just an option, but I wouldn't say I know loads about him. Right back, it would have to be Dalot's the main guy going forward. So
yeah, Dalot's the main guy. So
it would have to be someone. It's going to have to be someone that can do a decent job backup, like a backup job. That's again.
I was thinking Martinez from Girona or Frimpong, but Frimpong's going to be.
No, Frimpong's not a left, but he's not a right back, bro. He's not a right back.
He's a right wing back, but I do believe he can play right back.
I can't lie, man. I like that idea. Convert Anthony to a left back, man. He was cooking.
No.
I think we might sign Chalobah, you know, if I'm being honest.
Oh my God.
I rate this guy highly, by the way.
We might sign Chalobah.
If we're talking squad player as well, yeah, and I think he's mint. I think he's actually it's just not your typical name, right? I think he's sound. I like him a lot.
Do you think he's better than Tosin? Like, there's a massive difference between.
A little bit different in a way. I think Tosin's better than Chalobah's probably better with his feet. I like Chalobah.
If that's the case, then I would say, why don't we just get Tosin, who was free, instead of actually paying money for the player?
Chelsea got there first, man. They had their man Joe Shields straight there.
The wages was what apparently we didn't want to pay him more than 50K a week or something like that for what we would deem a squad player. So
fair enough. If that's the reason, that's the legitimate reason, then fair enough.
We need.
I don't like that midfield.
I don't like that midfield. I do not like that midfield.
Why not?
I'm sorry.
It's because of Bruno. I like mainly with Fofana. It's because of Bruno, man. He just, every time I see him, I don't believe he could stick into that position like game in, game out. I just feel like depending
on how you play it.
Depending on the emotion, and that the guy was run out. Like,
huh?
No.
What's it?
What happened there?
I don't know. He's
No, I'm
trying to-
changing the formation. I'm changing the formation.
See, the problem with Bruno, if he plays in that right side of midfield, is that he always drifts
Ew.
centrally or he moves towards the left side. So you have this
Yeah.
huge gap, that right side of our midfield, every single time he plays.
Mm.
That's the biggest issue with Bruno. That's
I
why,
like
like,
the back four is cooking, man.
Is that what did you give that team out of 10? Everyone in the chat, give me that team out of 10. This is a rough idea, isn't it? Rough idea.
That's like a 7, 6.5, 7.
So you're having a double pivot.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you
why
can have
people are saying it's haram. Like, do people want Ahmad in the team or not? Or do you want Elise? Which one?
Because
Yeah.
no, do you know what it is, Kaz, with me, yeah, I want Ahmad in the team, but
I don't
like
think we're getting Elise,
when we
man.
was talking
No.
before, I want him part of the first team. I don't want him to start. I think these men are not better than Sancho. If he's going to
Yeah,
be
that's what I'm
staying,
saying. I know.
If Sancho's staying, then he's got to be starting. That's the way I look at it. They have potential to be
Yeah.
better than him. I hear it,
Yeah.
but if he's staying at the club,
Yeah, Sancho on the
Yeah.
right. Sancho on the right.
yeah,
Get Tony up front, man. Hopefully.
trust me.
That's if he stays though, innit? You know what I mean? So
I think aerially in defense would probably be a little bit weak. If
I
that
think
Saeed,
we're-
what do you
I think we're
Saeed, what do
fine.
you mean? What do you mean if he stays?
no, because he might want to go to Dortmund. He might want to, you know.
Unless they're gonna cover his wage losses and
Yeah, I know.
payment
Well,
plans.
one thing is it's more balanced. Let's just put it like that.
We're gonna keep
Wage
this for the yeah.
Bro, you know what it is, man. I think Bruno is a problem, you know, man. Because
I
he
think he's
dictates the way.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what it is with Bruno. Yeah, he dictates the way we play. Like for me, like look at Bruno. He doesn't. Like I don't know, man. It's weird.
Say,
Man.
that's
Like,
why we put Mason Mount. That's the only reason why Mason Mount ever made it.
I make it look like this. Put Sancho on the left and Elise on the right. Let's see what people think then.
That's cold.
But then again, you only got the only issue is you only got one outlet then, and that's Hoyland.
yeah,
Why are we having this Taribo guy?
Wait, what do you mean one outlet?
Tadibo.
Because,
He's
like someone that's like a pace, like, you know what I mean? Like who's going to be the guy that's going to run him?
Harry Maguire, man. I think Harry Maguire.
No, Elise is pacey, but he's not an outlet like that. Innit?
Maguire, yeah.
Yes.
Look, people like this, innit? I guarantee
People like this.
This
Yeah.
ain't FIFA. This ain't Championship Manager. You know.
Yeah, but
AI. This is real things, man. We talk.
Now, all of a sudden,
Saeed,
Bruno's deficiencies are
Saeed,
now covered.
I don't like the goalkeeper.
Nah,
Yo,
we keep it
go on,
the
bro.
same.
I was going to say Menu has to play on that left side. We've seen Menu dribble from that left side so many times, and he scored at least a few goals from that left-hand side.
Good
I
point.
think he'll dovetail very well with a good winger on that left side. He has to play.
Oh,
left
so you
side
want him
for
on the
me.
left, yeah?
He has to be on the left, and for me, I'd want to see what this team looks like without Bruno Fernandes.
What if you put Mason Mount there?
Mason Mount, nah, man.
How
He's
dare
dead
you?
food, man.
No, guys, because we spent 50 million on it. It's not because I rate him. You're gonna have to pay him.
No, you what for 50 million? Is that the bar? Is that the bar and end all to make sure you start nowadays at 50 million?
No,
Come
but
on,
like,
man.
no,
Man.
Kaz,
Come
I'm
on.
not saying that. Kaz, I'm not saying he has to start because of the 50 million. But as a fan, yeah, moving forward, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. You spent this much money on a player, make it work. Then you can't just be buying.
All right, cool. You know what? On that note, and you know what? Put Maguire in. Put Anthony work in as well. Then
I'm expecting players to leave though. I'm expecting them to leave.
so it's only one's a year's difference.
What was that? Sorry.
It's only a year's difference in Anthony. No, fuck. No, with all due respect, I think Mason Mount's an okay player.
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Respectful, fair enough.
Yeah.
By the way, Todibo, are you guys happy with Todibo?
No, not
Yes, I am. 100%. That's my first
based
choice.
on what's he done? He got turf out of Barcelona. He's playing in Nice.
So what turned out bars when he was like 19?
Yeah,
so
to be
he's
fair, he was
not
19.
playing
though.
there. He's not playing anymore. So he's playing
No,
in Nice for
No,
last.
he got Leon in the
and
building.
Nice have got a solid back line.
I'm not qualified.
Onana. You want him out?
Talking him, but all I hear is that he's a ball player.
Take out Onana.
How we
he's
know?
got-
Onana?
all right, there's something that I like. Unfortunately, we have to highlight our ops. Something that
Let's take
Gabriel
Bruno out.
and
Bruno
Saliba are good at. They're good at wide channels, receiving the ball in wide channels as well, defending them.
What's
However
his
you look
name?
at it.
Well, so Taribo can do that.
Saliba's got,
Right
yeah, he
area.
can. He's very good in channels.
What's that
Extremely
guy
good.
from,
And he's got
RB
abundance,
Leipzig?
he's got abundance of pace. The only thing that maybe is a bit of an issue slightly is box defending, maybe, I would say. But like I said, I think he's got the attributes personally, because you can't tell me another guy that's got to fit in there, that's got the same pace, the same height, and the same way he defends channels that we're going to need. Because when it comes to Martinez defending channels,
He can't. Yeah, I agree.
He can't. He's awful.
So we
man.
need
He's awful,
someone.
man.
That's my point. We need someone who can defend.
Oh,
Who
they
can-
haven't
who
got
have
Ivan
looked-
Tony.
Like I say, I'm not qualified with all these players in French league.
Move Luke Shaw left centre backs to just
They
for
don't
a
show
season.
it.
No, they don't have Ivan Tony, man.
But
I would
Dreamer,
get rid of
not
Luke
the
for
guy.
the season if we could, you know.
And we don't
I
need Luke Shaw.
I don't
We don't
believe
need Luke Shaw.
I don't believe in this guy's, but he's going to break down.
He's staying, but I would personally move Luke Shaw
Danny Olmo,
as a backup. left centre
Cunha.
back
What
for
about
one
Cunha?
season.
Cunha.
Cunha would be the dream for me. Like if we could bring Cunha in, he solves
Wait,
so many problems.
what are we building here?
Cunha.
What are we building here? Crystal Palace, like.
Just
What's going on?
Just look at,
Cunha, man.
look at his numbers. Let's look at Cunha's
Yo,
numbers.
this is a team and a half, you know. Right.
Yeah,
What's
I
he
like,
sourcing
I
right
like
now?
that guy from Wolves. Very good. Very good.
Yo,
He glides
look at this
past.
team, man. It's mad team still.
Wait, is this the Streets FC? Like,
Can I just ask
Yo.
it?
Ballers
that's-
FC.
that
Ballers
that's not
FC.
like,
How much is Cunha going to cost you?
I mean,
Would
would never
Cunha
lose
be
the ball. That,
expensive? Cunha probably
Could've
cost between
saved.
55 and 60 million pounds.
Why?
we just built Crystal Palace.
Building
Your brothers in
Monaco.
the team.
They say the midfield ain't that good.
That
They say the
midfield
midfield
is
ain't
shaky. That midfield is shaky. Take out Simeons. Off of what basis? Like,
Huh?
no,
Oh, excuse me. What do you mean?
Simmons, are
Xavi
you
Simmons on
mad?
what basis?
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Are you mad?
Not in a new build team to take United full. This is
Aye.
what I keep saying. You can be a baller somewhere else, but coming to United is an added pressure.
Aye,
Why
top-
put that on a young
aye.
child?
Top Reds are not accepting this team.
Aye,
I'm
trust
not
me.
taking
It's crazy. Bro, let me read this. Sancho, Ivan Toney, Elise, Kobe, Mino, Kone, Yusuf Afana, Nuri, Martinez, Todibo, Dallo, and Onana. So in there, it would be Manu Kone and Ivan Toney. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. that's fair.
Todibo is a like him.
Is he in the French squad?
Would you guys want Fulkirk or Dobbik up front?
That's
Big
a
up
Fulkirk,
Jamaican
man.
United. He
Yo,
says, "You are the realest Saeed. I'm in Jamaica, living in Maine, USA. Big up, man.
Baka, yeah.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Jamaica, we say, man. But you know what it is there? I just, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know what they said. It comes down to Deserbi in it or Tuchel. If we get Tuchel, brothers, yo, pray, man. Pray. No pace up front. You don't need pace,
getting
man.
Tuchel.
This idea of pace, man. Yo, bro, you don't need
that
pace,
team,
man.
you're not losing. We're not losing the ball.
You're not losing the ball, though. Danny Olmo in the 10.
My only issue is who's scoring goals.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruno Fernandes.
We will
Bring him
create
back.
a lot of
It was-
chances
exactly.
with this team.
Thank you. Elite Pundit, please tell them we will create a lot of chances.
a lot of chances with this
Yeah,
team.
and then guess what? We're gonna be like, what's the team at like Chelsea? You remember Chelsea? Just bare foreplay, but no ending. Like it's mad.
Yeah, but then we have Hoyland.
This
we
is
still
four.
have
This
Hoyland in
is
the
this
squad.
is foreplay FC.
We
Nah,
still have
this is
Hoyland in the
crazy.
team.
This is
We still have Hoyland
foreplay.
in the team.
Very
Like
good.
stop teasing me.
Yo,
Stop
bro,
teasing me.
trust me. Taliban ball, man. It's crazy. But now listen, this is alternative.
Everybody.
Innit? Nah, it's alternative, innit? You know what I mean? Like, end of the day,
I'm
yeah.
not surprised. I
say-
don't know if you saw we were linked to Cunha. It's not a strong link. It was written by the Mirror. But like, I won't be surprised
Oh,
if you
my
go
days.
for Cunha.
If I
Because
see
if you think
Cunha
about
up
it,
front,
if you think about it, listen, Marcus Rashford has fallen off a cliff. We can't rely on 19-year-old Garnacho. Cunha can play left wing. He can play right wing.
Yes.
He can play down the middle. He can play number 10. He could solve so many problems. Because listen, we don't know what Rashford is going to be next time, next season, and I don't know if we're going to keep him or sell him. So we most likely is going to stay. Let's be realistic.
no, we need Tony up front. If Tony's up the top of that diamond, I mean, however you want to look at it, top of the tree there, then we got something cooking in it. I don't know about the Xavi Simmons, but even if you put Bruno in there, even if you do put Bruno in a Tony, they thrive. When you think of their characteristics and their abilities, they would play off one another quite easily. We would get more goals. As much as we like aesthetics and I like on the eye, we need effectiveness at the same time.
We'd
Can I
still
just
be a
ask a
transition
question?
team.
Yeah?
Tony,
Are
oh
people-
my days, Sancho and Elise would pick out Tony like no tomorrow.
Yeah, but this thing,
Yeah,
are
exactly.
we accepting Sancho back? Like, welcome back.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah,
Nothing-
if Ten Hag goes, yeah.
fan base. We're saying
Yeah,
that nothing
yeah.
happened. Forget about what you leaving us and deserting us.
I mean,
You're right. You just walk back
Yeah,
in and no one's gonna say nothing about that.
Yeah, but really quickly, you're saying him leaving us. He got told he didn't get allowed to train with the club, and he got put out on loan because he replied to
Tony.
allegations he didn't
Wolves not
agree
there,
with.
man.
Search Ivan.
I don't know why fans could be so.
Nah, genuinely, I searched Ivan. They locked him off, man. They said, "Yo, man, you're not here, man."
Yeah,
Wow.
but I don't know what anyone's agreed about the Sancho thing. Like,
Okay, fair.
It's-
It's just,
if-
I don't know.
if you're
It's double
Manchester-
standards for me.
See, yeah, but if you're Manchester United, look at it, right?
We come 8th in the league. Sorry, Brian. Yeah, we come
No,
8th
go
in the
ahead,
league. Sancho's left us. He's playing in the Champions League final, and he can walk back into the club because he didn't want to say sorry, and everyone be like, "Yeah, cool." Get him,
Yeah, because it's a fresh. I'm looking.
Put him in the side 11. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, but you know what? But yeah, but like, wait, who was it? Who said it that like you someone said like a fresh slate or something like that, even for like Anthony and let it go again and see if we can build off it. Why is that not the same? Why is there not the same attitude for Sancho?
Because
Clearly the manager.
8th place, Sancho's walked out on us.
Yeah,
They sent him to the Himalayas, to the monk or something, the previous season to get some healing, and he's come back this year and said, "Nah, I'm not on this. I'm not apologizing."
Yeah, but Ten Hag
come
on, man.
He
deserted us. Now we know how Super Ted felt when he was deserted. He deserted us like that. He'd completely gone and just gone to Dortmund, skinny teeth, new shirt, or playing in the.
But the manager didn't want him, though. The manager didn't want him.
I'm just gonna say, open the door, say, "Come back. Let's put him in Saeed's 11." That's without
but one of two things. One, you're going to welcome Rashford back in pre-season after all the stuff that he's pulled off the season. So you can't be one rule for one and another.
And two, that's a good one, Estrella. I like that.
And two, with the Sancho thing, I hate this when all these fans say, "Oh, look at what he done for him." Yeah, but I don't know if you're retired or you're still working. But I'm sure if you was an employee, yeah, if you went to your management and said that I've got mental health, I'm suffering from mental health. By law, they have to take care of their employees. By law. So like him taking out an extended period or whatever for him to go clear his head or to get right here, fair enough, it's unprecedented in football, but by law that's a contractual obligation that has to be met. The protection of an employee. So all of this stuff like Ten Hag done him the massive favor. It's not really. It's just doing the basic standards of a human being. That all of this, he didn't go far and beyond for me personally. But him coming back pre-season, I've said this already on Saeed's channel, like he weren't given a fair chance. He was one of the main players pre-season, and for the first 4 games, he was on the bench for players who weren't part of the pre-season tour, or not completely the whole tour, and they were starting ahead of him. And then you go and sign Mason Mount and give him the number 7. It was like you basically just slap in the face. So I could kind of see why Sancho turned around and was like, "You're trying to do all of this disingenuous stuff, and you're now going to use me as a scapegoat. I'm not hearing it. I'm going to come out in public." Whether it was right or wrong, I don't agree with. But like I said, other players have done stuff in the season and have arguably worse things and have not been reprimanded as much as Sancho. So if he's got a fresh start, they get a fresh start. It's simple as that. That's all right.
I see why now you're a trading solicitor. You know, I can't argue with that. Yeah, but it's a good point. It's a good balance. But my thing is, I'm very upset with him. I think he needs to be better as a professional. Stop staying up there. He was doing that back at Dortmund. This late list that Matt come up with a couple of seasons ago, or we revealed recently to say
they weren't credible though. I don't think they were credible sources.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I heard the story about it. I think there's something going on. We have to wean that out of the club and be more professional. And don't let us down. Wait till the end of the season. Just grit your teeth through it, and come to the end of the season. Then say it. But don't walk out on us like that. We're your top player. We spend big money for you. I really admire him. I love him as a player.
Can I ask you a question, Yabba? Do you think the manager should have said what he said after the game? Just, I never asked you really.
Remind me. You know
the day when he said that Sancho's training standards weren't that great, and then obviously Sancho came out with the letter, not the letter, but the statement, kind of saying, I don't believe that, and it's not right. I am a big trainer, and he basically defended himself. What did you think to that one? Because I don't think I've ever heard your opinion towards that.
To be honest, like I can only speculate about what's really going on behind the scenes. I'm looking at it and say, is Sancho professional? Is Sancho the guy that manager can look to and say, I trust you to do the business for me? I'm not so sure that he is, because of the stuff that I've heard from Dortmund, in playing games and go. I see him in New York with some fancy gear on, and
Yeah, but that's chilling though. He can do whatever he wants.
To me, no, hear me out. Let me just hit my
Okay.
What you watching, man?
I don't want to say what I do or anything else, but sometimes a lot of these players need mentoring. They need to understand the arena that they're in with the football game of football, what arena it's like. So to succeed in that, you can't be doing foolishness like that, because some people have a mindset, whether it's a manager or whatever, they look at you saying, if you're talking like a rude boy or a road man or something, they don't want you in. They don't trust you. And if you're going out doing all this thing, putting on Instagram, and you're out in New York and you're raving, look at me, bling, bling. Some guys might think that's cool, but for me, you're not going to get the trust of a manager. So a lot of people need to learn how to understand the arena you're in. Like you said, Estrada, about the employment, all that kind of thing. You think I talk like this when I go to work? I'm like, oh, hello, yes, excuse me, sir. But I can be professional. I can separate that, because that's for work. So when you're in work mode, don't bring that thing, you're from Peckham, your Peckham business to the thing.
No. I think you're being very, very disingenuous.
One, he's from Kennet, and he's not from He's from Kennet. He's not from Peckham.
He's from Kennet.
The same way, you know.
Secondly, it's a bit different with normal work, because especially as a person of color, when you get that stigma put on you about you're a lazy player, that tends to stick, especially for a lot of colored players. So that's why maybe he went back out on a public forum. And like I said, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think it was the right thing to do. But I think all people of color, majority of us, you understand that section where it's like you label a player this, like Martial, because he wasn't happy to social media and stuff. He was counted as lazy, all of this, like he doesn't want to work and stuff. Countless. Pogba, man can't do nothing. He's injured and he's dancing. They're getting onto him. But other players like Jack Grealish can go out and break down lockdown rules, go out drinking, crash his car, run away, and they're like, he's just a lad.
These are the double standards we know. I'm talking about the manager picking him, and I'm talking about him being advised correctly to say what I need to do to conduct myself in this arena that is football, to understand it's like a fraternity to get in. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're doing that, if you want to be trusted by the manager and he's already given you opportunity and everything else, be advised to sort of conduct yourself in a way, and then wait to the end of the season.
But I think he has done though. When you deep it, he went. He got sent into the whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. When the manager ailed him, he was eating lunches in the car park. He was it around in the dressing room. He never really said anything after that. He put his head down. He went to Dortmund. He hasn't said a word at Dortmund. He's kept his professionalism there. I don't think he's done anything out of line. And when you say something, about the chains and whatnot, I think for me that's very, very harsh on a player who isn't playing at that time. Same thing with Rashford. I've never gotten to Rashford outside of football. If he wants to go party, he could do whatever. If you're performing on the football pitch, that's where players need to be criticized. I don't think we should be looking at their lifestyle and whatnot. Yeah, it helps if you have a better lifestyle, don't get me wrong, but if you're still performing on a football pitch, then who cares? We used to see so many players like Cantona or all, they were drunk every week. If you tell Nuruddin used to work on the doors in Manchester City Centre. He said he used to see players like York and Cole out drinking and partying. Yeah. But you know what they did? They still performed on the football pitch. So it's that kind of like connection there that we don't associate lifestyles. Guys,
you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. I think he's talking on the phone. He's talking on the phone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so if you're mentioning... Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going to say, at the end of the day, what matters is this performance, right? He's performing on the pitch. So if we do keep Sancho, how do we get the best out of him? Because I think there's a player there, but he's a system player at the end of it. And the system that Manchester United, especially Ten Hag, adopted does not favor a player like Sancho. It does not favor a player like Anthony. It didn't even favor a fast, strong player like Højlund because he used him in the wrong way. So ultimately, I think Sancho, funny enough, has a better chance of doing well for Manchester United now. I'm not sure if Wilcox was at Man City when he was there.
He was. Yeah.
So that's someone that knew
him. That group. Yeah.
So that's good. So that's someone that knew him when he was young. So maybe he has someone that can get it around and an arm around his shoulder and say, "Hey, listen."
But also, Murtaugh didn't come in. Yeah, I think Murtaugh's a coward. Yeah, Murtaugh was the one that was a coward. He never came in and stepped in here and basically been the middleman. Now you've got a footballing man in Jason Wilcox who's saying, "Yo, listen, I'll sort it out." And this is not only for Sancho. This is for any player that falls out with a manager. There should be someone that should come in and be like, "Yo, what's going on? You settle your differences. We're here to play football. Yeah, We're not going to be losing players because one person wants an apology of another player. That ain't going to happen
it's a
here.
huge investment, £75 million.
Yeah, and
I
he
know.
apologies, man.
Paying
It's a shame, isn't
or
it?
how much K a week? Like we
So was
can't.
Di Maria. Like so we've made other like large signings that haven't worked out the same way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we have to be very careful.
Doing that to high level talent is my point. We have to be careful as a club, and we have a duty of care to players. We need to be able to. We might not win a league, we might not win a Premier League or Champions League, but we need to be able to at least bring players in here that are highly talented and let them be able to at least perform to a certain level. Because if we keep on killing talent, it doesn't matter who we sign. Like it literally doesn't matter. The transfer window, we might as well not sign anybody if they're just going to come here and die. So hopefully, going forward, that's something we can rectify. I don't mind Sancho staying because I've looked at the whole when you take the whole season into account and you see the amount of players that's had issue at some point with Ten Hag, it's really hard for me to go, you know what, get that player out. I just have to base it off performance. So even Casemiro, last game of the season, which is our cup final, he was a big major. I do agree he should have been dropped based on form. But you look at the whole season, the system we played would kill any midfielder, right? So the job of someone like Wilcox is supposed to look at that and be like, you know what? This is not good. The way we're playing these players is not good. We're hurting this player. We're killing this player. Martinez is playing too much. Or that's what Wilcox is there to do, to make sure player health is taken into account. It's like stuff like Martial or Pogba when we're rushing them back from injury, all this kind of stuff. These are the kind of things we shouldn't be doing at Manchester United, and it's kind of frustrating. We sign all these players, we hype them up. Even Olise right now, if we go sign him, he's had some niggling injuries in the past. What if we misuse him and start rushing him back? Like we're killing too many players at the club, man.
So what are you trying to say? Move Sancho on? Is that what the overall speculation is?
I'm saying we should keep Sancho and do what we can, because somebody's not going to pay. Who's going to pay £55 million for him?
Yeah, it's true. The thing is, for me, it's just like, bro, like the first time you might have an attacking football mindset with possession and that, and you want to get rid of Sancho all of a sudden.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. That's what I call. Unfortunately, it might sound harsh. Actually, I won't say it because it might offend people. Forget it.
No,
yeah.
Listen, we don't know in it, man. And big up Nedu. He's saying here, damn Yaba, respect, but damn. Jealous amount of shit that comes out of your mouth, my word. Listen, Yaba's having his own opinion in it, like, and end of the day, you know what I mean? Listen, I think ultimately it comes down to just understanding the perspective in it. Like, I never really actually took any side, to be honest with you. I just said, yo, if Ten Hag has every right to say what he's got to say, then Sancho has every right to defend himself. You know what I mean? They should have kept it like that. But what happened is, let's back the manager. I said, bro, and then what happened is we see it with Casemiro. We see that with Varane. We see so many times managers getting trouble with other players. So I don't know, man. I just think for me, you know what I mean, his time is done anyway. And we move on, man. We move on. But listen, we're going to wrap it up here, man. It's been a good show. Guys, if you can like the video, that would be amazing. Let's get them likes. So I don't know how many likes we're currently on. 516. Let's get up to 600 likes. We'll be back tomorrow for the Mandem Talk. I'll be back in the morning as well, guys. I'll be doing Saeed TV daily in the morning. 10:30 a.m. You know what I mean? I seen a couple of guys from LA. It was like 3 a.m. for them. So, you know what I mean? Shout out if anyone can join me, 10:30 in the morning. Ten Hag might be sacked today. Who knows, man? You know what I mean? I might get my shades out and my flag. You get me? I'm going to piss off these United fans. I don't give a shit. I did it with Oli and I'll do it with Ten Hag. You know them ones there. So tomorrow, shades out, flag out. You know what I mean? We're celebrating, yeah? We're celebrating. We're free at last. You know them ones there. But now, listen, people. Make sure you follow up the Mandem, Estrella, Brian Elite Pundit, Never a Foul, Yaba. Check him out. You know, I'm saying to on United Agenda. And yeah, man, like I said, people, tomorrow, is it going to be decision day or is it just going to be another false dawn and we have to move on another day? But listen, people, like the video. We're going to raid Staffy TV. He's live. Go over there and just say Yanks don't know football. Just raid Yanks don't know football. We're out. Peace.